What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 6 FP 131. Roger's request. Oh, the main text of the history tilde. Roger seemed to be choked by someone after he finished speaking. He pointed at the rubbings of Yake's history text and couldn't speak. Can you translate the historical text? These are the historical texts that I have worked so hard to collect and translate. This is the translation. Do you want to see it? Yake playfully held the translation in his hand, and Robin even knew how to translate historical texts. I didn't tell you that at this point in time, apart from Odin and O'Hara scholars, they can translate the historical text. Please be sure to join my team. Roger grabbed Yake's hand and said excitedly that he had been waiting for someone who could translate the historical text. Roger sat cross-legged on the spot, recalling the memories of the past one by one. 13 years have passed, and we have reached the end of the record pointer that no one has ever reached, Waterstar Island. However, after we landed happily, we realized that you are not the last island. There is no way forward. I'm sure. Roger pointed to the text of the history, his voice a little excited. There is another island. Those who arrive there are truly unprecedented people. They have circled the world for a week. The 4 red stones engraved with this kind of words are the ones who reminded the location of that island. Roger took out a rubbing copy of a historical text that he had collected. However, this is the historical text that was forbidden to be read by the world government a long time ago. Roger sighed, sat down and shook his head. I thought it was just a cultural heritage, but I didn't expect it to be the map that we need, showing the location of the last island. It is rumored that the last island hides many treasures. Emphasize not to go. Then I want to go even more. If we can get here, we will be the #1 pirate group in the world. Roger held his hands up and grinned. Yake looked at Roger and kept wondering whether Roger had a beard or nose hair. So, thank you, Yake, your arrival is so important, I only have 1 year. Roger bent down to express his heartfelt thanks to Yake, who helped him in time. No need, Roger, just help each other, I also want to go to the final island to see. Yake then took out the rubbings of the red road sign history text that he had stolen from the ant. I already have 1 piece, and the remaining 3 pieces are in the Fishman Island, Wanokuni, and Zo. We only need to go to these 3 places to find them, and we can get the coordinates of the final island. Advertisement. The red road sign of the Fishman Island was still in the sea forest at this point in time, and then lost its trace. Great, now I have more confidence in my future journey, ha ha ha. Roger laughed happily, and said without a smile that the problem that had troubled him for a long time was solved at once, and he also got the whereabouts of other historical texts. Ah, Captain. Whitebeard's boat is on the back of the island, they seem to have noticed our side. Buggy is the scout, through the binoculars he has seen the Whitebeard pirates landing on the island, and shouted in panic. Whitebeard? It's been a long time. The birds in the forest flew into the sky in a panic, and the animals fled in all directions. The birds and beasts have already sensed the danger. Roger looked at the birds in the sky. The birds are making a lot of noise, it seems that they have indeed landed. Okay, then let's fight, you can only fight if you live. Jake hears Buggy's voice. Young Whitebeard? Looks like we meet again, Whitebeard. Not long ago, Yake just gave Whitebeard a ride with his own hands. I didn't expect to meet again so soon, he was still a young Whitebeard. Now Whitebeard is well deserved the strongest man in the world. The only ones who can compete with him are Golden Lion and Roger, and Garp. Now there is one more yak. Roger, let me come, I've wanted to meet Whitebeard for a while, it's been my wish. Yake saw that Roger was full of fighting spirit and couldn't help telling a lie. If Roger made a move, Whitebeard would definitely fight Roger instead of him. There are more opportunities to fight Roger. When he sets off to find the history text, he will have the opportunity to fight Whitebeard Youth Edition. It was a good fight. Well, Yake, if I'll watch the battle from the sidelines. Roger looked tangled, and he really wanted to fight Whitebeard again, but he couldn't refuse Yake's request. After all, there was a good chance this was the last time he and Whitebeard would see each other. Ha ha ha, another militant. Jabba laughed as he carried 2 axes on his shoulders. What's the matter with that guy? It's so fast, is it a samurai? From the perspective of the telescope, Odin is rapidly approaching the Roger pirate group, very excited. The rumored warrior. Then leave him to me. Roger's eyes lit up, it's impossible for Yake to fight with the samurai too. Now it's always my turn. Advertisement. Yake grinned, and took out a 2-meter-long giant sword at the end of the wolf. You have to use something bigger to fight Whitebeard. I'm on. Yake disappeared in the same place in a blink of an eye, and the Lei Yaolong pattern on his body was shining with blue electric light. Yake never let down his vigilance, especially the young Whitebeard. Oh, the speed of lightning? It's amazing. Yake's figure kept flickering in the island, and Whitebeard stepped on the canopy and leapt rapidly in the sky. Huh? When did Roger find such a strong little guy? Gee-you-la-la-la, it's still coming for me? Whitebeard held Kong Yunki tightly with both hands, the blade had turned black, and he slashed towards Yake with unrivaled momentum. Ha 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 ha, Whitebeard, what a spirit! Yake immediately felt a completely different Whitebeard. This kind of power is Whitebeard's confidence to cross the sea. The strong have always used flat A to greet each other, and naming them is also fine. Ding tilde. Yake's wolf end and Whitebeard's commune cut didn't even have a substantial collision. The earth could no longer bear it. Dense cracks appeared around the two, and the black and purple current frantically dissipated. Conquerors is in a fierce battle collision. Boy, Who are you? I don't think I've seen you before. After saying hello, the two put away their knives together, and Whitebeard was a little puzzled by what Yake said just now. Ha ha ha, come on, let's have a good fight, don't die. The Kenglong dies. As soon as Yake finished speaking, a thunder dragon descended from the sky and bit Whitebeard directly. Logia. So, but Lousy won't give up. Whitebeard raised his fist emitting a white halo and shattered the Brontosaurus, and then slashed towards Yake from Yunky. Pinnacle Whitebeard is indeed terrifying. 132. Peak Whitebeard. Roger knocked Odin into the air with a single blow, and looked in the direction of Yake and Whitebeard. This momentum is only Whitebeard, haha, Yake is also a monster. Roger, who is also the top fighter in the sea, can feel the terrifying power collision between the two. Even if he fights with Yake, he may not be much stronger than Whitebeard. As the two continued to fight, the island had been swept away by the aftermath of the battle, the surrounding sea area had already set off turbulent waves, the clear sky had been covered by thick dark clouds, and lightning and thunder kept falling. Haha, happy. Come again. Yake spit out a mouthful of bloody phlegm towards the ground, and immediately fought with Whitebeard vigorously. The ability of Shock Fruit has a great impact on the inside of the body, but for Yake, it can only recover after a few breaths. The battle has just begun. Naturally, Whitebeard would not be timid, picked up Kong Yunky and continued to fight with Yake, with several dark scorched marks on his body. Roger, they are fighting. The island may be torn apart. Do you want to stop them? Rayleigh looked at the situation of the small island worriedly. Jacques. Rayleigh, I advise you, rat tail juice, to not mind your own business. No, Rayleigh, they have a sense of proportion ha 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 tilde. Roger said indifferently, it's just an uninhabited island, what a big deal. The battle between the two pirate groups is coming to an end. After all, they have been fighting for 3 days and 3 nights, but the battle between Yake and Whitebeard is still going on. The center of the battle between the two is already bare, and the ground under their feet has already broken. The bigger Yake is, the more excited he is, his body is full of lightning, and he can no longer see his true face clearly. Yake has already opened the ultimate form, overloaded with Suzuo's body and Lei Yaolong's pattern, although this will cause great damage to the body. It's a big burden, but it's definitely worth fighting against the peak Whitebeard. Anyway, he will recover after a big meal at that time. Ha ha ha, is it going to die? Whitebeard, Yake laughed, he was almost at full strength, and both of them consumed a lot, but what Yake was most afraid of was the war of attrition. The longer the battle, Whitebeard more tired. Fart. Lousy can still fight with you for 7 days and 7 nights. Yake shook his head with a smile and held out a finger. Do you know how long I can fight with you? 1 day? No, I can keep fighting with you. Advertisement. With a big wave of Yake's hand, the thunder that had accumulated for a long time fell from the sky and struck Whitebeard continuously. Although he couldn't kill him directly, it was still very useful to consume physical strength. Super electromagnetic serial cannon. Yark throws out a handful of coins, and Whitebeard's face is washed with a beam cannon. Boom tilde boom tilde boom. The speed of the electromagnetic gun was too fast, and Whitebeard had no time to dodge. He could only cover the vital parts and use his ability to shatter the electromagnetic bomb, but the barrage was too dense, and there were always some he couldn't stop, and Whitebeard was blasted to pieces. Damn brat. The red light in Whitebeard's eyes became more and more attractive, and his beautiful beard was lost by the acrylic electricity. He was really angry. Juniors are too disrespectful. Shaking knife shattering the void. Against Yake's barrage, Whitebeard forcibly broke through. Kong Yunky's special effects have been fully drawn. Yake suffered this knife, and he will be seriously injured if he does not die. Too slow, Whitebeard, I'm right behind you, the spear of Ginner Hikoku. Yake flashed behind Whitebeard, holding the wolf end tightly with both hands. A red-purple slash broke through the air and roared out. Tilde. Whitebeard turned around hastily and blocked Yake's attack with Kong Yunky. The powerful force made Whitebeard retreat uncontrollably. With a roar, Whitebeard pushed the slash into the sky. Tilde. Brat, where did you come from? Why have you never heard your name before? Whitebeard said out of breath, but he still had the strength to fight, but compared to Yake's chest that was only slightly heaving, he had already fallen into a disadvantage. Unless he was fighting to the death, he must be the loser. My name is Yake, and I just joined the Roger Pirates today. Let's go here this time. If you keep fighting, this island will almost disappear. After fighting for several days, Yake finally felt comfortable all over. The young Whitebeard is simply too strong. Unless he can get another Devil Fruit fusion card and melt the Shock Fruit, otherwise he will have to rely on protracted battles. Although the yak is very durable, it is too tiring. Advertisement, boy. Lousy is Whitebeard, come on, let's fight for another 300 rounds. The three looked at each other and smiled, and the 4-day battle finally came to an end. He will read the main text of history. With Yake, we can find the final island. Whitebeard, you are not bad, your fruit ability is too destructive, I can't bear it. Ahahaha, Newgate, if you want to fight, I'll accompany you. Roger probably used the shaving technique, and came between the two in a few flashes. The three of them drank together and became good friends. Yake directly replaced Odin, so let him be Whitebeard's younger brother with peace of mind. Gu la la la, I have already recognized his strength, this guy is even more difficult than that B********* D Golden Lion. Yake said blankly, why didn't he speak suddenly? After the two pirate groups finished fighting, they began to exchange supplies. The battle in the past few days was as if it had never happened. What's the matter, am I wrong? Yake directly started the business mutual bragging mode. Everyone loves to hear good things, and there is no loss, so why not do it? It's been so many years, Newgate, Roger tilde you're in good spirits. Whitebeard looked at Yake with a puzzled look on his face. What do you call this unbearable? When I hit him, he obviously didn't react at all. After finally beating this guy until he vomited blood, he seemed to be fine after a few seconds. Kaido, that B*************** D wasn't even that resistant. How is it? My new crew is not bad, Newgate, you almost destroyed this island. Whitebeard couldn't hold back and asked Yake to come again with a dark face. Roger took a sip of a bottle of whiskey, pointed at Yake and said to Whitebeard. In Roger's view, Yake's strength is already at the top of the sea, even stronger than himself. I really didn't know that a Logia fruit-capable person would have such a pervert physique that even the monster Whitebeard couldn't consume him. Maybe only Garp can fight him for 10 days and 10 nights. Jacques, Roger, Whitebeard, and the three were drinking together. Mainly Whitebeard and Roger were reminiscing about the old days, and Jacques was eating. When Whitebeard saw Roger coming, he lost his mind to continue fighting with Yake, and inserted Kong Yunket into the broken ground. 133. Target the final island. Roger looked at Yake, who was completely intact from top to bottom, and then at Newgate, whose beard had been beaten off, and gauze was still wrapped around a dozen places on his body. I can't believe Yake's nonsense in my heart. If I can't bear it, who can bear it? By the way, is there a direction to Wano Kuni? Whitebeard? We need to go to Wano Kuni at that time. There are things we need. Yake suddenly remembered that he didn't know the direction of Wano Kuni, but it happened that Odin belonged to Wano Kuni. There should always be a direction. Odin. Come here, Whitebeard yelled, and a man dressed in a very different style came to the three of them in a few breaths. What's wrong? Bai Xiaoji. Odin and Whitebeard are brothers, not Whitebeard's son. According to Wano Kuni's habit, he is usually called Whitebeard Beiji or Bai Xiaoji. Aren't you from Wano Kuni? They need to go to Wano Kuni to find something. They need Wano Kuni's location. Go. My country to find something? Odin frowned, as if he was worried that they had ulterior motives, but after getting along with him, he felt that the atmosphere of the Roger pirates was actually similar to that of the Whitebeard pirates, not the kind of pirates who did all kinds of evil, so he still hesitated. Look, what we want is this, a piece of red history text. Do you know where it is? Roger saw that something was wrong and took out a pattern of red history text to Odin. Oh, this, I know. Are you looking for this thing? Odin breathed a sigh of relief. He thought he was going to do something. Anyway, no one knew him except Kazuki's family, and he was not worried about being known by others. Yes. Where is it located? Under Yark's instruction, Roger did not tell Whitebeard about the history text, nor revealed that he would translate the history text. Odin took out a retainer's life card, tore off a piece and handed it to Roger. Following the direction of the life card, he could find Wano Kuni. Then I told them the location of the historical text. Near the temple in the back mountain of the capital of flowers. I know. Yake wrote down this location, and it should be correct. The flower city is the capital of Wano Kuni, where the ruler lived, and the historical text is also logical in this place. In the evening, the two pirate groups held a large banquet, and the scene was very lively. You guys are Buggy and Shanks. Advertisement. Yake sat next to Buggy and Shanks, who were still interns. The two of them had also gone through a hard fight, and their main opponent was Teach, the little black fat man. Mr. Yake. The two little ghosts greeted Yake cautiously. Yake laughed out loud, thinking that he would be called Uncle Shanks in this world, but he didn't expect his seniority to rise up now. Here, I have nothing to give you when we meet for the first time. This is a dessert made by my friend. Do you want to eat it? Yake took out 2 small cakes from the storage bar while they were not paying attention. Of course it was produced by Anna. Yake can be eaten as a snack when there is nothing to do. The taste is very good, and children like it very much. Ah tilde thank you, Mr. Yake, then we will be impolite. Well, it's so delicious. The next day, the 2 top pirate groups in the world set off separately and went straight to east and west. The purpose of this trip is very clear, that is to find the other 3 red historical texts. The location is already known, and the rest is simple. The next trip is basically equivalent to visiting Zinshu village with a 100 level number, and there is basically no difficulty. Yake, we are going to go to Tom's workshop to rest the boat first. This ship has been traveling for a long time, Roger said with his arms around Yake's shoulders. In addition to repairing the boat, he also wants to see his old friend Tom, otherwise it may be forever. I can't see it either. Whatever, you are the captain. Yake lazily said that the voyage this time will only be short or not long. There is no need to go to Sky Island or anything, and it is only necessary to head towards New World. The capital of 7 waters. The current water level of the capital of 7 waters is not as high as it was later, and the overall situation is not very beautiful. After all, the times are developing, and after the completion of the maritime columns, it will gradually become an economic hub. Tom was Roger's original shipwright, and when Roger's pirates got off the ship, they flocked to find old friends. The only people Yake is familiar with here are Juvenile Iceberg and Frankie. Frankie was G on a Hulk. Little devil, are you Frankie? Yake asked with great interest. Now Frankie is still a normal person. His body has not been modified. He is quite a good guy. That's right. What do you want from me? Pirates. Frankie's tone was not very good, and he only talked to Yake for Tom's sake. Otherwise he would never talk to pirates. His parents were pirates and abandoned him, and now he is full of resentment towards the pirates. Advertisement. Why? Do you hate pirates so much? Does that mean you will never become a pirate? Roger, the next stop is the Fishmen Island. Haitian has a red history text. Are you familiar with Neptune? The boat is already coated and ready to sink. The Oro Jackson dives directly into the sea, heading for the Fishmen Island. Roger smiled happily. It's great to see an old friend again, but isn't Yake? Young father-in-law? Yake, are you interested in this brat? Rayleigh said teasingly. Forget it, he will definitely become a pirate in the future, do you believe it? The next stop is the Saboti archipelago, where Rayleigh meets Shaki. Okay. Set sail. The Oro Jackson did not travel to Sky Island, so the natural damage to the hull was not that great. With the help of Tom, a master ship repairer, he repaired some damaged parts with ease. Ahaha, Tilda, I was already a good friend with him when I came to the Fishmen Island last time, and now he is already a great knight. The only thing Yake was curious about was why the historical text of the road sign originally placed in Haitian disappeared. Neptune could not answer this question. Yake guessed that it was taken by the world government. Even if it is to collect historical texts, it only needs to be rubbed. During this period of time, Yake called Rayleigh brothers and sisters. In this world, he would never meet a child named Yake, so Yake simply let go. Of course, I, Frankie, will never be a pirate even if I die in this life. Yake chuckled and laughed out loud. Well, come on, remember what you said today. Frankie will definitely smell really good, Yake firmly believed. Ha ha ha, that's not necessarily true, do you want to bet? But right now Shirahoshi isn't born yet, and even Neptune isn't married to Odahime. 134. Shirley's prophecy. The Oro Jackson is slowly sinking. Several giant sea kings swam past the Oro Jackson. They were kilometers long and strangely shaped. No matter how many times you have been to the Fishmen Island, the probability of death is the same, and the main reason is these giant sea kings. It's just that today's sea kings is extremely excited. To be born, our king. Huh? Roger heard a strange voice. He has the ability to hear the voice of all things. He can hear what the sea kings are talking about, but he doesn't know who is talking. Our king is about to be born. Roger pulled out the ace, with a nervous expression on his face. It's already deep sea. If he encounters an enemy, the whole army might be wiped out. Who is talking? Yake, did you hear the voice just now? Roger looked at Yake with his arms around him and said. Yake frowned. Did anyone speak? He doesn't have the ability to hear the voice of all things, but judging by Roger's expression, it doesn't look like it's fake. Roger, what are you talking about? This is a quiet deep sea. Rayleigh next to him said with a smile, thinking that Roger was too nervous. Roger, can you tell me what you heard? Although Jacques didn't hear anyone speaking, he knew that Roger could hear the voices of all things, and he wouldn't lie to them for no reason. Our king is about to be born, and one will be born in a distant sea. The day when the two kings meet again, Wales, we have been waiting for that day. There are still 10 more to be born, and 15 more to grow up. Yake rested his chin and pondered what Roger had relayed. It was said by the sea kings just now. That's right. The king they mentioned refers to the Poseidon who will be born soon. Only Poseidon can rule all the sea kings, Roger. Yake said excitedly. Shirahoshi has not yet been born. Shirahoshi is the next generation of Poseidon, the only king of all sea kings. I have one at home. Is that so? Ha 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 ha, I see, the Fishmen Island must know something now. Hurry up. I can't wait. Roger rubbed his head and smiled. Not long after, the Oro Jackson came to a city wrapped in a big bubble, which is the Fishmen Island. Advertisement. When the ship reached the entrance, a large group of Murloc warriors surrounded the Oro Jackson, and a familiar figure pointed a golden trident at the Roger pirates. What are you here for? People on the ground. According to your answers, I will deal with you on the spot. Neptune's expression was very serious. It seemed that the Fishmen Island had entered an emergency period. All the Murloc fighters were on edge, and would attack immediately if something went wrong. Hey, wait a minute. Look clearly, it's me, Roger, the great knight Neptune. Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, Roger hurriedly explained that he didn't want to fight Murlocs. Roger. That's it. I see, so you guys are going to do that? Neptune became more vigilant when he heard that Roger was looking him up and down, as if he wanted to find out Roger's secret. No wonder Neptune made a fuss. Shirley, who was still a child, predicted that someone would destroy the gate of the Fishmen Island recently, so visitors or tourists who came to the Fishmen Island recently will be treated with caution. I won't do anything bad. What, will a man like you be trembling by the prophecy? After the misunderstanding was resolved, Neptune still let the Roger pirates in, otherwise Yake might overturn when fighting in the deep sea. In Mermaid Bay, Neptune is explaining the reason to Roger. It's mainly because you came within the time of the prophecy, and there are 9 out of 10. Boom. Before Neptune could finish speaking, he suddenly heard a loud noise. Neptune shrank his pupils and looked towards the place where the sound came from. Master Neptune, we are under attack. The mermaid guard reported the situation nervously, panting, and must have swum all the way here. Sea Kings gnawed the door. Neptune turned pale with fright, and called out the impossibility. Sea Kings are so honest. How is this possible? The entrance of the Fishmen Island was bitten by Sea Kings with a big hole, and a large amount of air leaked out from the Fishmen Island. Quickly plug the hole and do emergency treatment. Neptune covered his forehead with a headache. It turned out that something big happened, alas. Advertisement. Roger immediately said, look, we didn't do it. Recently, the country has been busy going around because of that child's prophecy. Sea Kings are making a fuss because they are waiting for the birth of the mermaid princess. Wait a minute. I'm not even married yet. I just became king a few months ago. Neptune retorted loudly. This was slander, and he was even a virgin. However, Lord Neptune, she also predicted the day when the previous king would die. And that's sexy. No, the political demonstration led by the hateful mermaid Odahime was perfectly predicted. Neptune led the crowd to the forest of the sea, chanting words. The one on the right is Joey Boy's letter of apology, but Jacques already has a translation, and Roger already knows about Joey Boye, so the main purpose this time is the red historical text. Everyone came to the prophecy girl, Shirley. Now she is still a 3-year-old little loli. She is very different from the last time Yake saw in the Fishman Island. Mermaid, it's a new prophecy. It means that the king will have an heir. That's really gratifying. The Murloc soldier who was waiting for Shirley's prophecy said excitedly. Neptune, ancient weapon Poseidon, do you know what's going on? It's the weapon that can drive sea kings. I heard that Yake is about to be born? Jabba said angrily, we're not here to listen to your daily routine, Neptune. When he came to Hajison, Yake had already stood in front of the red historical text and rubbed it down. This is one of the historical texts of road signs lost in later generations. With him, he can save a lot of effort. It's okay Roger, we've reached 2 coordinates and then go to Zo and Wanokuni to find the rest. Yake packed up the rubbings and collected them. These things can be put into the storage box, which is also considered make task progress. The words of the Murloc soldiers prove the accuracy of Shirley's prophecy. Little Shirley hangs his hands above the crystal ball, and the crystal ball reflects Shirley's face. B. Odahime. Hi, it's not a happy thing to win. Neptune mentioned Odahime's face covered with a beard, and his face turned red like a bewilderment. 135. Leave the Fishman Island. Weapon. Ancient weapon Poseidon that bears the name of God. Roger's gaze became sharp. Neptune took a deep breath and said lightly, actually, the prophecy Shirley just said made me shudder. In this country, a mermaid who can talk to sea kings will be born every few hundred years. Maybe that mermaid is. Roger finally understood, everything before was connected. So your daughter will become a weapon to destroy the world one day? Neptune, however, was a little uncomfortable with the word weapon. If his daughter was really Poseidon, he would definitely not use her as a weapon. That's just a prophecy, and even if it's an ancient weapon, it depends on how this power is used. After collecting historical texts, the group came to Shirley again, and Roger also wanted to predict the future. Hey Tilda Shirley, when was the mermaid princess born? Roger tried his best to exude a friendly atmosphere and said kindly to Shirley that reasonable things should be done by Yake, after all, he is more handsome. Shirley did not speak and directly manipulated the crystal ball, only to see the crystal ball emit a dazzling purple light, which dissipated after a few seconds, and at this time Shirley also learned the prophecy. 10. Shirley stretched out her hands, with a waxy childlike voice, much cuter than the cold appearance later. Alas Tilda, it seems to be 10 years later, but Roger, you are interested in this kind of thing. I really misjudged you. Neptune felt that Roger had malicious intentions and started beating her daughter before she was born. Pay attention. Yake smiled and said nothing. Your daughter Shirahoshi has already been married to me by you in another world. Don't you can't do it, alas Tilda damn charm. Neptune, what we want is the huge treasure left in this world by the guys who named the weapons. Rayleigh understood Neptune's thoughts and explained to Neptune with a smile. Ahahaha, are you relieved? We won't snatch your Afro daughter who was born at some unknown time. Roger laughed while pointing at Neptune's afro, and Neptune touched himself depressed afro with amazing volume. It won't be an exploding head. Advertisement? I totally agree, maybe your daughter has pink hair, Yake said with a smile, and couldn't imagine Shirahoshi's afro head at all. Fortunately, Shirahoshi basically inherited the beauty of her mother Odahime. Ha 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 ha. The group didn't have much time, mainly because Roger was running out of time, and left the Fishman Island after getting the text of the history. Riding on the undercurrent, White Dragon, under the sea, he soon came to New World. The rest of the journey was basically very happy and comfortable. Everyone present is a boss, and basically there will be no obstacles. Comparing the journeys of Roger and Luffy is completely different. Luffy fights monsters and upgrades all the way. Roger drives a Gundam to fight mosquitoes. Yake also enjoys this process very much, and even hopes that Garp will come over sometime, so that he can exercise his muscles and bones. Some unnamed island. Yake couldn't bear the loneliness, so he was going to challenge Roger to see what kind of strength One Piece has. So the two found a deserted island and prepared to have a good fight. Are you ready? Roger, your illness is all right? Yake said with some hesitation. After all, Roger didn't have long, and if the battle aggravated his condition, the gain would outweigh the loss. Ahahaha, Yake, come as soon as possible, use your strongest attack. I can't beat you in a war of attrition, and I will go all out. Roger said indifferently that although his illness is terminally ill, he is not yet unable to fight. He is also looking forward to fighting Yake. After all, he is a strong man who can fight against Whitebeard, and even has the upper hand. Haha, then I'll be rude. Roger. As soon as the voice fell, Yake pulled out Tensa Zangetsu directly, facing the nimble opponent. Langmo looked a bit cumbersome. Without holding back, Yake was in full swing, and his tyrannical momentum suddenly broke out. Roger was not to be outdone, and the two strands of Conqueror's Haki collided fiercely. It's a good momentum, it can even hurt the real thing, it's amazing, I'm on it. Roger couldn't bear it anymore. The Western Sword Ace had been covered with pitch black Haki, and dozens of black slashes flew directly towards Yake. Yake didn't want to take the effort to resist, and flashed directly to Roger's side to say hello to him. Hey Tilda. Advertisement Yake has turned into a blue and white lightning man, not elemental, but the thunder in his body is overloaded, and it overflows directly to form a lightning armor. God avoids. As soon as Yake heard the name of the move, he knew that he should avoid it, and Roger/lonely. Reverse lightning Tilda. Yake gave Ping a nice name, but this trick is not as simple as vomiting blood. Boom Tilda. Compared with the battle with Whitebeard, the aftermath of the battle this time was not so terrifying. It just cut the island into pieces, and the ground was already covered with messy sword marks. Rayleigh, how long do you think Roger and Yake can fight? Jabba, wearing sunglasses, tapped Rayleigh's shoulder. Tilda, it's hard to say. The two of them are attacking with all their strength. This time it may not be a protracted battle, but it depends on whose attack is stronger. Rayleigh crossed his hands, and his tone was a little uncertain. He was more worried about Roger. After all, he was terminally ill, and Yake was young and vigorous, and possessed such a terrifying devil fruit ability, he really couldn't confirm it. Ha ha ha, it seems that Yake is much better than Bullet, but Bullet has never pushed Roger to such an extent. That happened many years ago, maybe now. The battle between the two is still going on. Roger's strength is definitely the top group of people in the sea, and compared to Whitebeard's open and close, Roger's fighting skills make Yake feel like fighting Shanks. It is simply exactly the same. Clang. Bang Tilda. Sparks are flying everywhere. Roger is currently at a disadvantage, because Yake is not afraid of getting hurt, and he is more aggressive, and he earns money in exchange for injuries. But after all, Roger is also a strong man who has been famous for many years. Although he has been defending, he can also find Yake's flaws and counterattack, but it is not painful for Yake. Fighting to such an extent, Yake no longer has the tricks to use the sword, and is completely relying on brute force to swing wildly, but it is this style of fighting that makes Roger a little busy, and he can't predict Yake's next preparation at all. Do what? Cough 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 Tilda. Roger couldn't help coughing after receiving Yake's frantic attack. Yake stopped the attack immediately and looked at Roger's situation. Roger covered his mouth, blood overflowed from his fingers. Yake shook his head slightly. It seems that the disease still affects Roger. Roger, are you okay? Oh Tilda, forget it. 136, to Zoe. This time, the battle between Yake and Roger was over. As time went by, Roger's condition became more and more serious, and his remaining days were less and less. Roger and the pirates had been famous for a long time, and other pirates basically didn't dare to provoke them. Roger and Yake were also happy, of leisure. The next stop is Zoe. I have one, but... Yake hesitated to speak. The life card in his hand was given to him by Anna. It was a life card made by her mother with her nails. Kay is not sure if it will work in different worlds. It's just that the life card in his hand has never moved, just like ordinary paper. Yake is a little disappointed. Can he only go to Wano Kuni first? Yake, don't worry, I have enough life cards to go to Zoe. Jabba laughed. Well, how did you have it? Jabba took out a small piece of life card and shook it with a smug face. Ha ha ha, when I heard you said that I needed to go to Zoe and Wano Kuni, I kept an eye on it. When I was fighting the Whitebeard pirates on the unnamed island, I found that there were two fur tribes from Zoe on their boat. A cat and a dog. Jabba tried to remember their names, but gave up. I exchanged some food with them for this life card. Look, it is still guiding the way. Jabba pointed to the slowly moving life card on the palm of his hand. Going to Zoe can only pass the life card, because the elephant owner is constantly moving in the sea, and Zoe's position is not fixed. After having the life card, everyone sailed in the direction guided by the life card non-stop. The unknown sea area is shrouded in thick fog, and the guiding effect of the life card is already very weak, which also shows that the distance from Zowu is getting closer and closer. Soaring Tilda. A huge shadow appeared in the dense fog and let out a dull roar. Yake grinned. Elephant Lord, here we come. Is that the elephant owner? It's unimaginable that there is such a huge creature. Roger sailed for 13 years, and it was the first time he met the elephant owner, like a moving mountain. Tilda, I heard that voice again. Is this elephant talking? Roger looked around, and finally locked his eyes on the elephant owner. Hey, are you talking? Advertisement. The only response to the crowd is endless silence. Roger, it's important to find the text of the history first. The furry principality is on the back of this elephant. Let's go. Yake patted Roger on the shoulder and let him relax. Yake knew that the elephant owner is wise, and the elephant owner was punished to walk on the sea all the time because of a mistake, and the person who can order it seems to be a member of the Kazuki family. Rayleigh looked up at the endless elephant owner, and seemed to be thinking about how to get up. Except for Yake and Buggy who have the ability to fly, the others are not capable, so how to get up is a big problem. Roger, how do we get up? Are we going to climb up? Roger looked directly at Yake, leaving Yake a little speechless. Although I will transform, I will definitely not carry a large group of men on my back. Yake, you can fly, you fly up with a rope, and then we can climb up. This is indeed a good method, but Yake shook his head and refused. The ability of Thunderfruit is enough to solve this problem. Don't bother, Roger, is there any metal I don't use? I need to make something. Soon, everyone in the pirate group brought a bunch of metal products such as broken swords and cannons to Yake. Lay metallurgy. Under the action of high-voltage lightning, these metals quickly became soft like noodles, allowing Yake to knead. Yake thought about it on the spot, and decided to make these metals into a big boxy cover, and then turn it upside down, and a metal boat was ready, which could accommodate everyone. Roger, let the elephant owner tow the boat, and we'll go up through this iron box. Yake's operation is really powerful, and everyone is watching, but they can't figure out how Yake uses this iron guy like a lid to lead everyone up, and the eyes looking at Yake are full of curiosity. This is my ability to generate magnetic and repulsive forces through electrical energy, and then use the generated repulsive force to suspend metal products in the air, so that we can go up, understand? Yake tried his best to explain to this group of big bosses in an easy-to-understand way. Seeing their original expressions, Yake was very relieved. Yake went up all the way, always following the metal box, controlling the magnetic force to make it fly smoothly. Roger took the lead and yelled, looking like he had never seen the world. Advertisement. Everyone nodded again and again, praising Yake's ability and convenience. The penultimate piece of historical text, I finally found it, it's not easy. The furry principality has always had a good relationship with humans. To them, humans are nothing more than bald monkey fur tribes. When entering this country, there is probably only one sentence that can sum it up. After learning that the members of the Roger Pirates knew the missing clansmen of Momomushi and Inuarashi, Goat Khan lowered his vigilance and warmly entertained everyone. Everyone has fur. A group of people rode a crocodile through the dense jungle and stepped on huge vines to the place where the historical text was stored. The current duke is the Duke of Goat Khan, the king of the Mau Mau Principality, and later the Cat Viper in Inuarashi. Yake, who Roger was rubbing, couldn't help sighing. He knew that Yake was not an ordinary person, he seemed to know everything, and his strength was still very strong. Roger couldn't guess his real purpose, but in his opinion Yake, they are also men who yearn for freedom. As long as they advocate freedom, they are all the way. Okay, just go to Wano-kuni and get the last signpost, we can deduce the location of the final island, Roger. Do you want to find that red stone? It's inside the whale tree in the whale forest. Let me take you there. Okay, everyone stand firm, we are going up. Yake said excitedly that it would not be so easy to find 4 red historical texts so easily in the original world. Yake stood in front of the red historical text and saw the emblem of the Kazuki family above. All the historical texts were made by craftsmen of the Kazuki family, but only Zo saw this emblem. The connection between them is not simple. Yake is suspended in the air, and with a hook of his finger, the metal box will levitate with members of the Roger Pirates. Yake. Actually, you don't understand at all, do you? Our journey is about to usher in the final chapter. So that's it? Does Thunderfruit have so many abilities? Ha ha ha. 137. Kaido Youth Version. Ah ha ha ha, that's really great, cough 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 tilde. Roger coughed up some blood again. Recently, he coughed up blood more and more frequently. Crocus basically followed Roger closely every day to prevent him from accidents. Roger. Captain. Roger reached out to stop the crew members who wanted to check on him, and wiped the bloodline from his mouth with his sleeve. I'm fine, who? Let's keep going, our goal has not been accomplished yet, I won't die. Shanks, who was raised by Roger as his son, had tears in his eyes and clenched his fists tightly. That's right, we still have to find the big treasure. Shanks, don't cry, how can a man cry at will? The aggravation of Roger's condition also made everyone feel a little impetuous, holding a breath in their hearts, and wanted to find the final island as soon as possible. Is this Wano-kuni? Is the lifeguard pointing in the wrong direction? Doesn't this look like a country? Jabba stared straight at the waterfall in front of him, but Yake laughed. Wano-kuni is a special area, there is no coast outside the sea, and there are only cliffs and waterfalls around. After climbing over this waterfall, you can reach the inland sea of Wano-kuni. Let's go up. Yake walked to the bow and said that in order to save time, Yake chose a simple and rude way. After all, it was his first time to come to Wano-kuni, unlike Odin who is a local and knows how to get up. It won't be the trick from last time, right? But our boat can't dock. Yake, you. Before Rayleigh finished speaking, Yake flew into the air, and after a few breaths, he became a blue dragon that covered the sky and the sun. Oh. This is impossible. Isn't this an ability of the recently famous Kaido of the Beasts? Advertisement, ability is a trivial matter, the key is, isn't he a Thunder Fruit ability user? Yake has never revealed that he is a double fruit ability user before, just try to hide his power as much as possible. His name has been listed on the reward order and the bounty is only about 1 billion. Marine fights, the only record Marine knows is fighting Whitebeard for 3 days and 3 nights. Yake didn't say much, and directly used the flame cloud to carry the boat over the waterfall to the Wano-kuni inland sea. There was a big Uzumaki in the middle of the inland sea. Yake simply took the boat to the beach. Yake, I really didn't expect that you still have this trick, ha ha ha. It really saves a lot of effort. Roger patted Yake's shoulder happily, making him want to eat a fun devil fruit, it was so convenient. Roger, I'm afraid someone doesn't welcome us, Rayleigh said vigilantly, his hand already on the hilt of his sword. When Yake turned into a dragon and flew to Wano-kuni, Kaido's subordinates noticed it. Now Kaido is ready to plan Wano-kuni. Several weapon factories have been established. Now Odin has not returned, and the actual ruler of Wano-kuni is Orochi. Master Kaido, a pirate group is coming. The flag is the Roger pirate group. Are we going to fight? Kaido sat on the huge seat, drinking wine and listening to the report of his subordinates. Roger, what is he doing here? Kaido frowned, feeling that things were not simple. Don't act rashly, see what they are going to do, keep an eye on them. Kaido waved his hand, picked up the mace on the side, and strode out. He was going to secretly observe Roger's movements, and he didn't want to fight Roger unless Roger was here to grab the territory from him. Recklessness is just Kaido's appearance. In fact, he is very shrewd. Now that he has no men and no troops, it is impossible to defeat Roger pirates. When my former Captain Rox Zebek was defeated by Roger and Garp, I was just an intern. He is well aware of Roger's strength, and the only ones under his command that can make shots are Jin and Quinn, but compared with Roger's right-hand man, Rayleigh Jabba, they are a bit muddy and unable to support the wall. It can only be said that the future can be expected. Who are we waiting for? What is the purpose of coming here? Kinnaman led a group of people to stop the way of the Roger pirates. Before, they thought it was Odin who came back, but they didn't expect it to be just ordinary pirates. Advertisement, reporting to Master Kaido, Odin's retainers took Roger and his party to the back mountain of the Flower City. There is a cave there, a place we have never been to, and then our people will not be able to follow up. Wait, you just said you saw me transform on the coast? Yes, Master Kaido, it is a giant dragon like you, but I don't know if it is you. The younger brother said tremblingly. Kaido is moody, and being his younger brother would have to be beaten every now and then. Go and call the big snake, I want to know what's hidden there. I'm Roger, and I know a samurai named Odin, do you know? Several people surrounded Roger, waiting for Roger's next words. At this time, Jin Wyman also brought Roger and others to the cave where the historical text was stored. Yake looked at Kurozumi Kanjuro quietly. It's a pity that this guy's acting skills can't be compared with Xiao Jinren. If Yake didn't know the follow-up plot, he might not have guessed that this guy is an undercover agent. I always thought it was Shinobu coming. That's what Master Odin said. See if it's what you're looking for. As soon as Kinnaman heard Odin's name, he became excited, and the 6 heroes of the Red Sheath were very excited. The other 3 went to sea with Odin, and they should still be on the Whitebeard ship now. It seems that you are indeed Lord Odin's friend, and this lifecard is also mine. What do you guys want to come to Wano Kuni? The most mature Kinnaman is undoubtedly the leader of the 6, and he basically negotiates with Roger. Roger had a good relationship with Odin. Roger remembered that Odin said that he had some retainers in Wano Kuni, and it would be easy if these people were his retainers, so that someone would lead the way. Roger was afraid that they would not believe it, so he told the 6 heroes of the Red Sheath all the information he knew, but he didn't know why they cried and laughed when they heard the news about Odin, and their emotions were extremely unstable. Kaido stuck the mace into the ground, and locked his eyes on the cave in the back mountain of the capital of flowers. Master Odin. You know Master Odin? Yes, I have been friends with Whitebeard for many years. He is the captain of the 2nd Division on Whitebeard's ship. With him is a cat, a dog, and a samurai who looks like a woman, am I right? Oh, did I run out drunk? Kaido only remembered that he had been drinking before Roger came, and this kind of thing had happened before, could it be? He lost his memory, Kaido thought in shock. 138. Beating is so cute when you see the bright red, you know you can't go wrong. Yake neatly rubbed down this piece of historical text. He was very excited, and the dusty history was finally about to be unraveled. Great, I finally collected all 4 landmarks of the historical text. Yake, I'm counting on you, ah. Roger raised his hands and laughed happily. The other crew members were finally relieved, but they couldn't help worrying. Roger's time is running out. When they reach the final island, their pirate group will be disbanded. Yark calibrated the translation of the historical text of the 4 road signs and began to analyze the final location. Rayleigh, give me the map. Rayleigh hurriedly handed the map of the Grand Line to Yake, and everyone dared not make a sound, waiting quietly for Yake's result. Here, the coordinates of the first island. Here, the second coordinate, the last coordinate. Yake drew 4 locations on the map, and the center of these 4 locations was the location of the final island. Ha, so it's here, Roger, get ready to go to the final island. Yake pointed at the intersection of the 2 red lines and laughed. Roger, Rayleigh and others rushed over to see where it was. After all, this is a place that no one has ever arrived. After seeing this clear coordinate, everyone can't help cheering. Let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's go, I can't wait. Saying goodbye to Kinnaman and others, Roger and his group returned to the coast of the inland sea. Jacques smiled mysteriously at the position behind him. He found that people were watching them all the time since he went ashore. At first, Jacques perceived Ordinary the pirate as probably Kaido's younger brother. After he and others entered the cave, the people staring at them changed. Yake didn't expect Kaido to be so tolerant, he was a bit unlike him, and he was still too conservative compared to Jack Kaido. Roger, let me take you back, get on the boat first. Yake was going to leave Wano Kuni directly by boat, but he really wanted to beat Kaido up. Fighting with Roger is not very exciting, it is better to fight Kaido's punches to the flesh. When Roger returned to the pirate group and was ready to take his place, Yake transformed directly. Kaido, who was in the distance, widened his eyes, and fell to the ground without holding the mace firmly, he couldn't bear it anymore. Advertisement, how is this possible? Is that old woman more than me? Kaido roared and turned into a dragon and flew towards Yake. The residents of Jiuli thought that Kaido was drunk again and began to flee.
Yake, what's going on here? Why is there still a dragon? Is it your brother? Roger did not dare to accept the reality after confirming several times in a row. He did not expect so many surprises today.
Yake is really a mysterious man. Almost, he is indeed a younger brother to me now. Yake quietly waited for Kaido's arrival in the air, turned his head and pushed the Oro Jackson to the distance. Roger, you go first, I have your lifecard, I will gather with you later. Okay, Yake, be careful when you're done, I'm still waiting for you to go to the final island together. Roger's voice was loud, but the distance was too far for Yake to hear. Kaido flew directly in front of Yake and confronted Yake in the air. Who the hell are you? How can you have the same ability as me? Yake directly ignored Kaido's questioning and launched an attack directly. Flame breath. Yake opened his mouth and spewed out a huge pillar of fire that stretched for a kilometer, giving Kaido a blow. Damn it. Kaido secretly scolded Yake for not talking about martial arts, and breathed heat to resist Yake's attack, but Yake's fire breath directly swallowed Kaido's heat, and it would burn Kaido's mane in a blink of an eye. Kaido's dragon body shrunk sharply and turned into a dragon man form. He realized that the strength of the person in front of him who was similar to his ability had exceeded his expectations. Thunder 8 trigrams. Without further ado, Kaido jumped straight into the air ready to loosen the bones for Axon. Yake shook his head. The current Kaido is too young. Yake directly elementalized in advance. Kaido broke up a group of thunder and lightning with a stick, and the thunder and lightning quickly gathered to become the dragon head, with a slightly mocking smile. Kaido, that's not how Thunder 8 trigrams are used. Yake turned into a human form and grabbed Kaido's mace directly. It was not very smooth, and it was a bit too big, but it didn't affect Yake's teaching. Kaido, watch out, here it is, Thunder 8 trigrams. Advertisement with the same stick. The special effects added by Yake are much more gorgeous than Kaido, and all kinds of buffs are directly filled, and Kaido is only hit with this blow. It is hard to say that Whitebeard insisted on this move. Peef tilde. Kaido was directly hit in the abdomen by Yake's stick, and a large ball of blood was sprayed out, and the whole person went directly to the city wall of Jiuli. But Yake flashed directly in front of Kaido without hesitation, punching and kicking. As if nothing happened, Yake turned into a dragon and flew away. It didn't take long to beat Kaido. Roger and the others shouldn't have gone far. Yake wandered around in the sky for a few times and found Oro no Jackson. Crocus, show Buggy what's going on. Hey tilde Buggy, Buggy. That's right, you guessed it right, let's go. There's a town before going to the final island, and it will take a long time to sail to get there. Let's go to rest and replenish before we go. Rayleigh saw the humanoid in the sky. Yake said lightly that they also fought against Kaido in the early years, but for them, Kaido is just a newcomer with great potential. It is easy to defeat him, and it is more than enough to defeat Kaido with Yake's combat power. Shanks suddenly tightened his expression when he saw his good friend fell down, and hurried forward to check his situation. Great, let's go. Tilde, the fight lasted nearly an hour. Yake was very disappointed to see that Kaido had been knocked out of his eyes, and he was not interested in killing Kaido, so he sent him back to Ghost Island with a big foot. Look, it must be Yake, don't guess, that Kaido guy can't be his opponent, Roger said confidently. He had played against Yake, and he had a deep understanding. Yake grabs Kaido by the head and throws him straight out of the city wall onto 9 Mile Street. Alas tilde, let's go. The youth version of Kaido had no power to fight back in front of Yake. He was beaten beyond recognition, with more than a dozen broken ribs. The current Kaido is not only resistant to beatings, but also resists beatings, gradually losing the ability to resist. Buggy jumped up and shouted excitedly, then suddenly fell to the ground. His whole body was hot and his nose was glowing red. Come out. It was only after seeing Buggy Yake, who was unconscious on the ground, that he realized that the main character was not him. The entire streets of Jiuli were ruined, and the people secretly looked at Yake behind the ruins with horrified faces. Whenever Yake glanced over, it would cause a burst of exclamation and screams. As soon as Yake landed on the boat, he saw a commotion. Did he call Kaido soon? As for it? Bang bang approximately. 139. To the final island Ras Garib, the closest island to the final island. Buggy suddenly fell ill. Shanks decided to stay and take care of him for his good friend. Buggy is sick and clamoring to go to the final island. Shanks, aren't you interested? Roger said with a headache when he saw Buggy finally fell asleep. It's not that he didn't take Buggy, but he was too sick. If he travels again, he may die, which Roger doesn't want to see, but Shanks surprises him. Captain, Mr. Yake, if we want to go, we will go on our own ship in the future. Shanks said confidently that even though the final island was right in front of him, he still gave up this opportunity for Buggy. Yake secretly gave Shanks the thumbs up. On the coast, Shanks, who stayed behind to take care of Buggy, bid farewell to everyone. Captain, Mr. Yake, Deputy Captain Rayleigh, everyone, come back safely. We're here waiting for you. Don't worry about Buggy, I will take care of him. Shanks waved and shouted on the shore, followed the boat all the way to the end of the port, and bid farewell in tears. Roger pulled out the ace and pointed forward. Everyone, head towards the final island, let's go. Ooh. Everyone was very excited on the last voyage, and from time to time they would hum Bink's Wine, a song that all sailors knew. There was an air of joy on board. Riding the wind and waves all the way, the outline of the final island appeared in front of everyone. Captain. Found traces of the island. Let me see. That's right, that's it, the final island, brothers. Let's go find the biggest treasure in the world. Oh, tilde speed up for me, advertisement. It was only 7 or 8 kilometers away from the final island, and everyone already disliked the wind. Some people ran directly into the cabin to accelerate with paddleboards. The Murloc Sunbelt jumped into the sea and pushed the boat forward. Although his strength was meager, his body full of energy. Ahaha tilde, the speed of this ship has never been so fast. I'm really looking forward to it. What is waiting for us on this island? Roger's binoculars hadn't been taken down much, and he was staring closely at the situation of the island, but the island was covered by thick fog, and except for the black outline, it was almost impossible to know the appearance and topography of the island. Yake grinned. He has not been so happy for a long time. The world's biggest mystery is about to be solved. The blank 100 years, ancient weapon, the huge kingdom, the D family, everything is on that island. Anything is possible. Roger, if you land on that island, you will be the One Piece. Yake crossed his arms and smiled. The distance between Oro Jackson and Raftel was shrinking at a speed visible to the naked eye. This distance Yake can already land directly through teleportation, so he is the first person to land on this island, but it's not necessary, it's interesting to log in together. Huh. The anchor was thrown into the sea, and all members of the Roger Pirates looked at the island with excitement, as if they wanted to find the legendary huge treasure. Brothers, log in with me. Roger jumped onto the shore first, and happily ran towards the center of the island. The other crew members jumped to the shore with excited screams, and some of them were crazy. Ding! Complete standing on the top of the sea, Series 5, log into Raftel, and reward optional items 3. Choose one of Devil Fruit Advanced Strengthening card, Devil Fruit Advanced Fusion card, and Devil Fruit Stripping card. Choose one of Enhanced Devil Fruit Prototype, Sea Curse Removal card, and Resurrection coin. Choose one of Devil Fruit Authenticator, Everything Exchanger, and Matter Converter. Ding! A new mission is released, standing on the top of the sea. The final chapter, The Only God, rewards mysterious items 1. The moment Yake set foot on the island, the main task was completed. The reward made Yake drool, and finally ushered in the final mission. The mission description is not very clear, but Yake knows what it means. Advertisement: the things in the system will not be lost. Wait until you are free to study slowly. Exploring the final island is the most important task at present. Yake has turned into a dragon form, with a wider field of vision, constantly circling around the island, exploring the island. The pirates explored the island excitedly, but found that it was just a barren place, with no plants or animals, only endless rubble. Indeed, there were no traces of humans, indicating that they were the first people to land on the island. In the very center of the island, 2 stone tablets with historical texts are evenly placed, waiting for those who are destined to unveil its mysterious veil. Yake, you're here. Do you have any other discoveries besides these? Roger asked after seeing Yake landed. There was no huge treasure as he imagined, only these 2 stones, but he couldn't understand either. We can only wait for Yake to reveal the answer. No, it seems that these are the only things in the final island. There are a lot of words here, let me have a look. Yake walked to the first boulder, and the stone was densely covered with historical texts. It would take a while to translate. This article records the truth of a blank 100 years, do you want to listen? Ha, it's really interesting, Joey Boy is really an interesting person. Yake laughed out loud after interpreting the content of this historical text. Joey Boye actually has similarities with his thoughts. Everything is God's will. Seeing Yake smiling so happily made Roger and others scratch their hearts and lungs, and became more interested in the content recorded on this stone tablet. Hey Yake, don't laugh at yourself, tell us quickly, really? That's right, it's too cunning, hurry up and say it. The crowd clamored for Yake to tell them quickly, otherwise they would be tortured and served. Yake hurriedly begged for mercy. Okay, let me see how to tell you, cough, okay. Yake organized the language, and came out at the urging of everyone. 1,100 years ago, the lunar civilization visited Shandora, but their resources were exhausted. In order to return to their hometown, the moon people with wings that could not fly exchanged civilization and technology far beyond the world at that time. Gold resources, so Shandora gradually became the city of gold. The Giant Kingdom was also formed together, and the lunar people also brought texts to Shandora and the Giant Kingdom. The so-called historical texts are actually the texts in the lunar civilization. Wano Kuni, once known as the country of gold, is also one of Shandora's trading partners. The news revealed by these texts is a longer history, and what follows is the story that happened in the disappearing 100 years. 140. 100 years of disappearance. 800 years ago, Joyboy, the leader of the Great Kingdom, began to travel the world. During the trip, he discovered the mermaid princess who can control the huge sea kings and the huge creature hidden in the red line. Joey Boy called them Poseidon and Uranus respectively. He also met other races such as the three-eyed race, the long-legged race, and the little people, and cultivated friendly relationships with them during the adventure. At this time, Joey Boy also fully realized that the world is complicated. It is too narrow to look at the world only from the perspective of normal human beings. Human beings will instinctively fear when they see things outside the scope of cognition. Joy Boye believes that in this era, too many races may suffer unreasonable crimes and sufferings because they are not normal people, and normal human beings cannot recognize their reasonable existence within the scope of cognition. In addition, even normal people, if they are at the bottom of the country, will suffer like slaves and have no dream of freedom at all. So after Joey Boye returned to China, he wanted to build an utopia on the basis of a huge kingdom with certain technological strength and relative prosperity. The name of this country is the country of D. D stands for dream, and the will of D is to advocate freedom and dreams. In the land of country D, all races put aside their prejudices and live in harmony. It is a country where suffering rarely occurs, and people have smiles like D on their faces. This is the continent where everyone can approach the dream. What Joey Boy wanted to build was the most beautiful continent in human history at that time. He was neither a king nor a leader, because the country of D advocated freedom and equality for everyone, not necessarily who is the center. All the people in country D will be the freest people on the sea. Advertisement at the beginning, the kingdom of D was built very smoothly. Other races have come to actively integrate into the kingdom of D. The three-eyed race, the Lunaria race, etc., who have special reading abilities, and even the Wanokuni, which has trade with the huge kingdom, have also come and settled here. Everything in country D is moving in a good direction. In such a prosperous country, some people who don't have a surname or follow Joyboy, or who sincerely love the country of D, add D to their own names, and they are the ancestors of the D family. They come from all over the world, they have no blood relationship, what they have passed down from generation to generation is D's will. This is the idea of D's utopia advocated by Joyboy. Over time, this special and inclusive country has gradually been recognized by people of all races who have suffered from suffering and discrimination in the world, so some places have also recorded information about this country in ancient books. With the passage of time, the existence of the country of D and the ideas of Joyboy have been spread all over the world, attracting all kinds of people. With the multiplication of people, the population of various races continues to increase, and even the land is not enough. It was used, so some people who joined later tried to move the island together. The Fishmen Island is exactly like this. Joey Boy and the Murloc Princess agreed to change people's concept of classifying mermaids as fish, and let them live in the sun like humans without being discriminated against. So Joey Boy asked the giants. A friend of mine built a giant ship Noah for the Fishmen Island, and plans to find a time to migrate the Fishmen Island to the sea. The country of D continues to develop and attracts more and more people, which has already touched the interests of some countries. Country D of Joyboy is too tempting. The slaves on the bottom of these countries all hope to join country D. For these countries, if these people are lacking, the ruler or royal family will become a poor commander. As a result, 20 countries formed the World Government Coalition to face issues of common core interests. They created an unwarranted reason to start a war against country D. Country D does not have an army, but Joey Boy has the Pluton blueprint gifted to him by the lunar civilization, and he invites craftsmen from the water city to make Pluton Pluto. When the coalition forces were about to arrive, they had to use Pluton to demonstrate the powerful power of the country of D, and bombarded the coalition forces garrison. Ming Ochaku then turned this resident island into a bottomless pit, and the seawater continued to flow downward. Later, this island was called Eni's Lobby. Advertisement. Although Joey Boy has Pluton, Poseidon, and Uranus, which are enough to destroy the power of the world, in the face of this disparity in combat power, the coalition forces still insist on attacking the country of D, because Joey Boy conceived a utopia, advocating everyone's freedom, dream, that is, D's will. So once a war is fought for the utopia, no matter the winner or loser, it will completely violate the will of D. So Joyboy has no resistance at all, but some other races in the country of D are desperately resisting for freedom and dreams, and some almost all were exterminated. Country D is about to fail. Joey Boy realized that the 20-nation coalition might rewrite history, so he asked the Kazuki family to carve the text of the history, recording this history in the existence and thought of country D. Joey Boy gave the engraved historical texts to people from various countries and ethnic groups who came to settle in the country of D, and asked them to bring them back to their original countries. The Kazuki family returned home with a special mission of inheriting the method of reading and writing, and immediately blocked the country. The Fishmen Island received Joey Boy's letter of apology, and predicted that one day the promised person would arrive at the Fishmen Island to fulfill his promise with the mermaid princess. Without Joey Boy's non-resistance, the country of D lost without any surprise. The 20-nation coalition won the victory, and 20 of them also set foot on the land of the huge kingdom. They found the existence of this country and its ideas a great threat to their rule, and they ordered the complete erasure and destruction of all traces of its existence. After that, they established the world government, made an oath, laid down their arms, set up an empty throne, and promised that all countries will remain equal and have no dictatorship. The king of Alabasta, Nefert Herbert, saw the life traces and state of the citizens of Utopia, and realized that the 20 of them were the destroyers of the beautiful world, so they became the so-called traitors of the first 20 people and returned to their own country. The remaining 19 and their descendants call themselves celestial dragons, calling themselves gods. However, the world government encountered a lot of resistance in eradicating the traces of the country of D. Not long after the country of D was destroyed, the will of Joyboy and D was circulating in people's minds. They knew what the world government was. Therefore, people who once joined country D or countries connected with country D did not cooperate with world government's cleanup operations at all, and fierce wars broke out in some countries. Facing the obliteration of the world government, people rose up to resist in the name of D, so the family of D was called during that time God's natural enemy. 141. One Piece. Roger Yake told the story to everyone according to his own understanding, and finally there was a last word of Joey Boy. I'm waiting for a promised person who inherits D's will. He will fulfill the promise of the Fishmen Island for me, continue to fulfill my dream, and connect this world together. In this complete world, hold the world's largest banquet, so that people all over the world can laugh heartily at this moment, showing a smile like D. Ahahaha tilde, is that so? It's so interesting. After hearing Yake's story, Roger burst into tears of laughter, and then everyone in the pirate group also laughed, all grinning, and the final island was full of joy. Ahahaha. Joey Boy, I really want to be born in the same era as you. You really left behind such an incredible treasure. What a big joke, ha ha ha. Roger wiped away the tears from the corners of his eyes, and couldn't help feeling admiration for Joey Boy. Then Roger turned to his crew and said, Hey, everyone, the last island that no one has reached for 800 years, why not call it this name? Roger paused. Everyone was waiting for Roger, looking at Roger. The corner of Roger's mouth rose, and he raised his hands and shouted loudly. Raftel. Yake stepped forward and patted Roger on the shoulder, signaling to everyone that he had something to say. Everyone, another record is about ancient weapon, do you want to listen to it? Of course I want to listen, tell us about it, Yake. Hearing ancient weapon, everyone's interest was immediately raised, and they sat obediently waiting for Yake's narration. Ancient weapon. Pluto, Joey Boye used the design drawings of the Moonman and asked the shipbuilders of the Seven Waters to build the worst warship in history. It once destroyed an island with a single shot. After the battle, Joey Boy hid Pluton in an unknown corner in order not to be used by people with ulterior motives. The water capital craftsmen who inherited the design of Pluton are worried that if Pluton is found and used by bad guys, they can build a second Pluton to compete with it according to the blueprint. Ancient weapon. Poseidon is a mermaid princess who has the ability to communicate with sea kings. Joy Boy became friends with the mermaid princess after arriving at the Fishman Island and made an agreement, but the agreement was not completed on time due to the war. The mermaid wanted to help Joey Boy win the war, but he refused, and asked her to place the giant sea kings in the calm belt, waiting for the next Poseidon and the promised man to complete their agreement. Ancient weapon. Uranus, Joey Boy found this huge creature in the red line. It is a giant dragon with a size of tens of thousands of meters, full of destructive and weird energy. Joey Boy is the only one who can fight with it, the one who communicated, and named it Uranus. But since Uranus could destroy entire worlds if he wasn't paying attention, Joey Boy let him sleep in the red line, waiting for his call. Advertisement. Yake gradually frowned. What kind of power does Uranus possess that can easily destroy the world? Even Joy Boy dare not use it lightly if it is celestial dragons. No, has mastered this power, then he is hiding some unknown secrets. There is still too little information given to Yake by these stones. Maybe only when I really face can I see the power of Uranus. A dragon of tens of thousands of meters. Yake sighed inwardly. After Yake finished telling the information about the ancient weapon, everyone in the Roger Pirates fell silent. Each of the ancient weapons has a powerful force that cannot be ignored. The only one who knows the news is Poseidon, who will not be born until 10 years later. Ahahaha, everyone, let's go back, Oro Jackson. Ton. Yake, what a pity, we all came too early. Roger poured down a bottle of wine, and confided to Yake melancholy. Oh, why do you say that? Haha. Yake opened a bottle of rum and handed it to Roger. Yake is a man from the future, and for him, it's just right. The person Joey Boy waited for was not me, and the person in the prophecy was not me. What a pity, if only I was born 20 years later. Rayleigh walked up to the two and took Roger's rum. Roger, what are you talking about? Rayleigh, here you come. Rayleigh looked at the sea in the distance. Roger, do you still remember what you said to me when we first met? Well, of course I remember. You said, to subvert the world. Roger raised his lips, remembering the first time he met Rayleigh who was resting on the boat that day. I also said that this meeting is destiny. Rayleigh took a sip of the rum and handed the bottle to Roger. At this time, Yake felt that he seemed a little redundant. Was it a bit like a light bulb? Roger didn't care either. He took the rum and drank it down. Is that promise fulfilled? Yeah, it's done. News of Roger's successful lap around the world also spread throughout the world. Advertisement. In retrospect, everything is a miracle. I am so destined to come this far. I am really grateful to you all. Roger stood up from the barrel. Then I'll say it. How embarrassing. Idiot. Roger sat on the wooden pass, smiled and said this to all the crew members. Yake leaned on the mast, and it was time for the pirate group to disband. Soon after, as long as they meet the pirates of the Oro Jackson, they will attack desperately, just because Roger is the pirate king and he has everything. The focus of the marine mission is also on hunting down the Roger pirates. It seemed that they knew that they were about to disband. Everyone tried their best to smile and dance to make the atmosphere not so sad. Roger expressed his opinion on this matter. They don't know anything. Now that things have happened, I also know why the world government has to hide your name like this, ha ha ha. Everyone stood up straight, waiting for the battle, and the sound of swallowing saliva followed one after another. Rayleigh took the newspaper and read the world government report, and the news that Roger became the One Piece shocked the world. It was dusk, the sun was about to sink into the sea, and the sea was shining with golden brilliance. The world collectively refers to everything that Roger has obtained, one piece of great secret treasure, One Piece. A man with wealth, fame, power, and the whole world, One Piece Golden Roger. Ha ha ha, it's Gold D Roger, but One Piece is not bad. No, what are you talking about? So serious, B************ D Captain. After learning about the blank 100-year history, it is no surprise that the world government blocked D, and they also knew that D is a special existence in the sea. One Piece was born. Roger Pirates, disbanded. 142. The disappearing yak Roger left the Oro Jackson and was the first to disembark. Yake then left silently. His task has been completed, and then he has his own things to do. Yark flew to a strange town and sailed down there to complete the task of landing on Raftel. His reward has not yet been chosen. Most of the rewards listed in the system have never been seen by Yake. Some of them can see their powerful effects just from their names, but some of them make Yake puzzled. Devil Fruit Advanced Strengthening Card. Strengthen Devil Fruit in all directions to enhance the effect of abilities. Devil Fruit Advanced Fusion Card. On the basis of the fusion card, an additional fruit ability is fused, and the upper limit is 3 Devil Fruit abilities. Devil Fruit Stripping Card. Can be used on unconscious demon fruit power to separate its Devil Fruit ability. Strengthen the Devil Fruit prototype. This ability will be advanced after containing the Devil Fruit. Sea Curse Removal Card. Remove the side effect of Devil Fruit. Resurrection Coin. It can be used on yourself or others to revive once. Devil Fruit Identifier. The ability to identify any Devil Fruit. Communicator of All. Ability to communicate with any sentient being. Substance Converter. It can convert any substance into another substance, and the conversion ratio can be explored by itself. The props of the system have always been simple and rude. The rewards this time can be described as extremely generous, but it also made Yake very entangled. He could only choose 3 things from them. After thinking about it, Yake finally decided to strengthen his own strength. System. I want to choose Devil Fruit Advanced Fusion Card, Sea Curse Removal Card and Substance Converter. Yake is going to integrate Shock Fruit's ability, and then remove the side effects of Devil Fruit, so that Yake has no weakness, and the chance of winning against IM will be increased by 1 point. Although the material converter cannot improve the strength, it is very important to the kingdom of God in the sky. Advertisement, not to mention its scientific value, even if it is used as a trash can to convert garbage into other items, it is already a bug. Yake took out the Shock Fruit from the storage rack and took a deep breath. System. Use the Devil Fruit Advanced Fusion Card. Ding. Is it fused with the body's ability? Yes. Converging. Please wait. The Shock Fruit is completely integrated into Yake's palm, just like the artificial Devil Fruit was integrated last time. Ding! Devil Fruit has successfully advanced and gained additional abilities. Yake stretched out his hand and clenched his fist. The familiar white halo lingered on the fist, dense cracks appeared in the air, and Yake withdrew his ability. After a little use of the ability, the ground began to tremble. It turned out that this was the power Whitebeard possessed. Now Yake has the confidence to crush everyone in this era, except IM, who doesn't know the details. Use the Curse of the Sea to clear the card. Yake crushed the card, and an inexplicable energy flowed through his body. Yake's body released 3 groups of black phantoms, which screamed and turned into fly ash. Yake frowned. Legend has it that the Devil's soul resides in the Devil Fruit, also known as the incarnation of the Sea Devil. What Yake saw just now is definitely not an illusion. Devil Fruit. I'll figure out its secret someday. Yake took out a pair of sea stone handcuffs from the storage bar and held them in his palms. I don't feel anything. Although it didn't make Yake lose his strength before, he would be unable to use his ability now. Thunder Chopper. Yake took the sea stone and summoned a Thunder Chopper with lightning. Without any effect, Yake's smile gradually perverted. Advertisement. I saw Yake rushed out of the house directly, flashing to the sea. Woohoo tilde. Yake was pawing happily in the sea. I'm sorry, I haven't learned how to swim, so I can only do this. Even so, Yake was very happy, and gradually became proficient in swimming, and the speed was getting faster and faster. Hold head high. A brown sea king with a touch of green jumped out of the sea. Its blood-red eyes stared straight at Yake, and its bloody mouth opened slightly, revealing its sharp teeth. Boy. It's you? Near Poseidon. Yake became more and more familiar with it. Isn't this the Near Poseidon who ate the bandit king and bit off Shank's arm? How did he come here? Yake felt as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Cold sweat dripped from the corner of his mouth. The king of the sea, he ate the king of pirates with a bounty of 80 billion ikes in one bite, and casually removed one of Shank's arms. If it weren't for the water release, Shank's head might be gone. In the future, the pirate king will only be scared to cry. It shows how powerful it is. The kingfish of the offshore didn't talk too much. He just opened his mouth wide and prepared to eat Yake, the garbage with a bounty of 5 billion, and beat his teeth for a sacrifice. Yake is going to meet this Near Poseidon to see what it can do. Electric Ricochet. Yake, who was soaked in the water, jumped up from the seawater. His right fist was condensed with white halo and lightning, and hit Poseidon directly on the head. With this punch, the void was shattered, and the invincible Poseidon was punched into a bloody mist. The nearby sea area was violently shaken and a huge tsunami was generated. In order not to harm the innocent, Yake used his ability to calm the sea, causing its back to calm. Oh tilde, what a pity. I wanted to taste what it tastes like. What a pity. After ending his sinful life near Poseidon, Yake turned and left, hiding his achievements and fame. Back in the small town, the residents of the town lived as usual. They didn't know that their town was almost destroyed by the tsunami. Yake packed up his things and was ready to go to Saboti land. It's time to try out the details of celestial dragons. Saying goodbye to the owner of the hotel, Yake left the town and went to the Saboti land in this world. 143. Offensive Marijoy. 3 days later, Saboti Archipelago. Yark left after a few drinks at Shoki's rip-off bar. He just wanted to see his mom before he killed the celestial dragons, just like when he was 18. Although the current Shaki doesn't know himself. Yake came to the red line near Saboti. To be honest, it was the first time he looked at the red line like this. Usually, I fly over the red line, and the bottom is covered with thick fog all the year round, so I can't see clearly. Along the red line all the way up, through the thick fog that blocked the view, Jacques finally came to the Holy Land Marijoy. The surface of the red line is covered with red soil, barren and lifeless. Marijoy is like a relocated island placed on the red line. The buildings here are luxurious and prosperous. This is a city built with the blood that celestial dragons sucked from all over the world. Looking down from a height, there are still many celestial dragons walking around, surrounded by some slaves and bodyguards in black. HMPH tilde it's really disgusting, but don't worry, celestial dragons will be buried with you. Yake was going to destroy the city to lure I am out. The poor slave Yake could only say sorry silently and wish them good luck in escaping. Boom. Yark landed in the very center of Marijoy, and several celestial dragons were walking, and the sudden movement alarmed these noble celestial dragons. Damn it, you filthy B****************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************Celestial dragons don't bother to eat devil fruit, they will give devil fruit to slaves, and then compare whose slave is stronger. Amidst the yelling of celestial dragons, the tame slaves numbly launched their fruit abilities towards Yake, and the black-clothed bodyguards fired at Yake without hesitation, and all kinds of strange flying energies and unknown objects surged to Yake. Trash should go in the trash can. Yake exuded a shivering cold aura all over his body, and the expression on his face was like the frost of the 12th lunar month. Hands clenched and crossed, the white halo intertwined with the black lightning, and the palpitating energy was ready to go in Yake's hands. Fear. The atmosphere is full of cobweb-like cracks, Marijoy begins to vibrate, the luxurious palace collapses, and the celestial dragons flee everywhere, but Marijoy is so big, where can they escape? In the depths of the Holy Land, a figure in a black robe woke up from the throne, opened his blood-red eyes, and looked in the direction of Yake. Blue Brew tilde. Advertisement. The Holy Land is under attack, empty, call Admiral to help. He wants to destroy Marijoy, he is crazy. 5 elders yelled hysterically on the other end of the phone, and Kong immediately stood up from his seat, knowing the seriousness of the situation. Thunder Hell Thor arbitration. Yake's shock fruit ability and thunder fruit ability are two-pronged. There are countless corpses of slaves lying beside him, and several celestial dragons are dying to be protected by bodyguards. This is just the beginning, the nobles of the world? Crazy. Super Shenluo Tianzheng. No, in the despairing eyes of the 5 elders, a blinding white light was seen rising. Marijoy, which had been destroyed by earthquakes and thunder, fell into ruins, and the corpses and building debris were scattered on a barren red line. All that remains is the ravine-ridden Marijoy ground. After all this was done, Yake was quietly suspended in the air, surrounded by 8 people in front of him. 5 of them were 5 elders, and the other was supposed to be the chief CP protecting the celestial dragons. Marine hadn't arrived yet. You are Roger's crew, the one who brought Roger to the final island. Kenglong Yake, what exactly do you want to do? No, forget it, it doesn't matter anymore, you will die today. The members of the 5 elders were furious. They belonged to a small group of celestial dragons with brains and strength. The Holy Land was destroyed, and they couldn't escape their responsibility. They were afraid that they would wake up the Lord. Yake cast a disdainful glance at the few people in front of him and said in a cold voice, "Just because you trash want to stop me, it's ridiculous, when I kill you all, I should come out." With a wave of Yake's hand, several thunderstorms landed, and the strong vibration also knocked the people in front of him into the air. The rest of the people looked at each other, the idea was sticky, let's go together. Ha ha ha, it should have been like this a long time ago, let you try my strength. Yake smiled arrogantly, and the end of the wolf appeared in Yake's hands immediately, with black lightning wrapped around the black sword. Empty shock jade fragment. The surrounding space is already a bit unbearable, and there is a creaking sound. Yake is 1 against 8, and he is still able to handle it with ease. Their strength is not as good as the youth version of Kaido. No matter how many people like this come, Yake is not afraid. Advertisement. You will regret this. Yake strangled the neck of a blonde 5 elders. He blushed and struggled hard. Others rushed to rescue them, but it was still a step too late. Yake crushed his throat, dropped his limp body on the ground, and shook the dirty blood from his hands. Who else? The rest of the people looked at each other in blank dismay. They had no way out, they either killed Yake or were killed by Yake. Gritting their teeth, several people entangled with Yake again. Damn it, what kind of monster is he, a phantom beast? The more they fought, the more desperate they became. Their attacks either failed, or they hit Yake without pain, and they could heal themselves after a few breaths. Haha, you dare to be distracted from the battle, you are really arrogant. Yake said with a relaxed face, the strength of the 5 elders is simply not worth mentioning, and they don't have any devil fruit ability. They have been pampered for too long, and Kaido can pick 5 of them one by one. A headless corpse fell down, and a CP chief who didn't know his name was considered a heroic sacrifice, as a dog leg of celestial dragons. Not long after the B*************** D of a few people lasted, the staff has been gradually reduced. His abilities are too comprehensive. If we continue to fight, we will only be defeated by him one by one. Hold on until Sengoku and Garp come over. Yake shook his head in disdain. They had no chance. Yake's figure began to flicker. First deal with the weaker 5 elders, and then kill the CP people. Destroy. Garp and Sengoku will be here soon. Please hold on for a while. The main force of Marine has already set off. Kong's anxious voice came from the phone bug, and the phone bug looked serious. Kong? I'm Yake. Don't bother Sengoku and Garp. Marine can just watch the show with peace of mind. They're all dead. Yake threw the phone bug aside, and there were corpses strewn about under his feet, and the entire venue was already stained red with blood. 144. Finally seeing there was nothing but endless silence on the other side of the phone bug. Psi tilde celestial dragons are all dead, that lord is going to make a move. Kong's face was very solemn, and the thing he was most worried about finally happened. After decades of being a marine marshal, he still knew some inside information. Although celestial dragons are mods in this world, These moths can make everyone give they were buried with them. Do you know what you did? Yake looked back vigilantly, only to realize that there was an extra person behind him at some point. Who are you? The person in front of him was wearing a strange black robe, and his face was pale, as if he hadn't seen the sun for a long time. It seems that you know a lot, but I didn't write this message in the final island. You are not from this era, right? Said with a sneer on his face. He is sure that Yake is definitely not a contemporary, otherwise it would be impossible to know this name, unless there are traitors among the 5 elders. Who are you? Yake seems to have guessed the truth, but he is still not sure. There are many people who can leave a message on the final island, people from the huge kingdom, craftsmen from the Kazuki family, and even Joey Boy himself. Ha ha ha. What does a dead person know so much? Smiled arrogantly, waved his right hand, and the rushing blue water wrapped Yake tightly. Yake struggled painfully in the water, and he couldn't breathe. Ha ha ha, a demon fruit power also wants to subvert my rule, how ridiculous. All the celestial dragons were killed by you, what a trouble. Shook his head, turned and left. In his opinion, demon fruit power is absolutely powerless in front of him. Yake in the water showed sly eyes. He is a perfect demon fruit power, without any weakness. How could mere seawater kill him? Not surprisingly, his devil fruit ability is related to the sea, either Logia or special paramecia, which does work for normal demon fruit power. Yake directly elementalized and rushed out of the encirclement of the sea to give the departing a righteous backstab. How can it be? How can demon fruit power break free from the shackles of seawater? Advertisement sensing the danger behind him, turned into a puddle and walked away, staring at Yake in disbelief. It's not surprising that Yake didn't succeed. It's still in Yake's expectation. Is at least a person who has lived for hundreds of years. Such strength is normal. Ha ha ha, it seems that you have some strength. Come on, I hope you don't let me down. Yake pulled out Tensa's Zangetsu, black thunder wrapped around the blade, and looked at provocatively. The guy who doesn't know the heights of the sky and the earth. Spread out his hands, the whole Marijoy turned into a vast ocean, and the venue was changed in an instant. Be swallowed by the sea. All the seawater has become weapon, and all kinds of monsters have been transformed into Yake, who has no fear on his face. Tsunami. Yake held back Tensa's Zangetsu and slashed through it, the atmosphere cracked and the void shattered, and all the sea beasts were shaken into waves and reintegrated into the sea. The sea was turbulent for a while, setting off a huge wave and hitting Not bad ability, but attacking me with seawater is too small for me. Waved his hand in disdain, and Zhu Lang turned around. Thunder hell Zhenhai. The ocean is Im's home field, and the sky is Yake's home field. Who wouldn't be able to wake up the fruit? Since Im's ability is the sea, Nyack boils the sea with thunder, and electrolyzes the water to produce a large amount of hydrogen that permeates the battlefield. Thunder God descends into the world. Yake's state was turned on instantly, and the whole person was surrounded by blue-purple electric current, and he came to in the blink of an eye. The seawater didn't work on Yake, and more than half of his ability was disabled. It was only a matter of time before he was killed. Broken slash. Sea God Trident. Apart from the competition of ability, the rest depends on physical skills, and it depends on who gets down first. Retreated under Yake's attack, and the condensed seawater attacks were all shaken into splashes by strong vibrations without exception. The seawater, which was a nightmare for all demon fruit power, was ineffective against Yake. Enough. Go to hell. Advertisement erupted with a strong momentum, and a water dragon knocked Yake into the air. I saw opening his palm at Yake, and suddenly clenched his fist. Yake roared in pain, and his body kept oozing water. The skin became dry, as if the moisture of the whole body had been separated by This is impossible. Feels a little weird in his body, but he can't tell what's wrong. It's because the resonance has just started. Ha 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 ha. I am the master of the water. I can control all the water here as I like. Don't forget, the human body is 75% water. Turn me into a mummy. Ton. Damn, my body. Atomic vibration slash. This is the closest Yake has come to dying. Yake stared at fiercely. This was the first time he tried to use Shock Fruit's awakening, and he didn't know how the effect would be. What have you done? Resonance. Now it's my turn. What said is correct. As long as there's human beings, there will be water in the body. This trick of is similar to crocodile, which separates the water in the human body. This situation cannot even heal itself. Just as was about to avoid Yake's fatal attack, he found that his internal organs had been severely injured, his 7 orifices were bleeding, and blood was leaking from his skin. This kind of vibration acts on the inside of the human body, keeping the vibration at the same vibration frequency as the internal organs of the human body, and affecting the enemy's body from the inside. As long as is a normal person and not a robot, it will definitely have an effect. Yake continued to attack at close range, so as to make the vibration silent. In addition to this usage, there is also space resonance, but this method is too destructive. If you kill 1,000 enemies, you will lose 800. Yake is going to save one hand first. Yake took out drinking water from the storage bar and poured it into his mouth. He found that could not drain the water in his body instantly, which showed that the defensive armed color still had a certain effect. The internal circulation brought by a strong physique quickly transported water to every corner of the body. As long as I drink enough water, you can't pump me dry. Smug smile froze. He didn't expect this trick to kill Yake. This trick was just to lure Yake to drink the seawater. As long as Yake drank the product of his ability, Yake would definitely die, but he didn't expect Yake to have such a thing as a storage bar. Yake obviously used armament hockey to cover the whole body, but the water in the body is still oozing out a little bit. After Yake opened the fruit and awakened, he found that he had a new understanding of vibration. The ultra-high-speed vibration provides a powerful cutting ability for the blade. With the addition of Conqueror's Winding, as long as it cuts it will either die or be injured. 145. The power of Uranus. Go to hell. Yake's Tensei took Im's head, and endured the severe pain to avoid Yake's attack, moved to the side and coughed up blood. Cough cough. Hum ha 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 tilde I want as many bodies as I want, my soul lives forever, you can't kill me. Im's face was covered with blood, and he said with a ferocious face. A man in black robes flickered to Im's side from a distance, grabbed Im's neck, and Im began to struggle, and then his body turned into dust and dissipated. Ha 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 ha, see, I won't die, hundreds of years are enough for me to save countless suitable bodies. Your body is very good, but it's a pity that you can't use it after being killed by Uranus. Yake looked at the scene in front of him solemnly, although he didn't know how Im did it, his hard work only broke one of his bodies, which was a bit frustrating. Yake gritted his teeth and asked, are celestial dragons just living as your shell? You can turn your head very fast, that's right, the celestial dragons are just my body backup, the fool's soul is easier to control. As long as I kill you, everything will be solved. Wake up. Uranus. Immediately after Im's words fell, the red line vibrated violently, and a huge creature was regaining consciousness. Im went straight into the red line and disappeared. A giant dragon tens of thousands of meters long, possessing destructive energy, Uranus. Yake flew into the air and looked at the hinterland of the collapsed red line. A deep gully appeared in the middle. The red gravel was slowly lifted up, and Uranus revealed its true face. Yake clenched his fists and made a creaking sound. It was too huge. Yake's transformed dragon form was not as big as its head. Compared with Uno Nuo's, Yake was as small as an ant. The giant dragon slowly flew up to Tianlong. Because of the thick fog, Yake couldn't see its whole body clearly, only its huge head. Uranus, kill him. Advertisement. The giant dragon opened its huge mouth, dazzling light accumulated in the mouth, and the air was filled with invisible energy that Yake's body cells resisted all the time. A deadly sense of crisis surged into Yake's heart. Yake turned into a thunderbolt and flew into the sky. He had never run so fast. A piece of mortal dust set off a turbulent sea, and the barren red line seemed to have raised the second round of the sun. Yake stood 5 kilometers away and covered his eyes. He couldn't look directly at the flash of the explosion. Uranus's attack directly blasted red line into a circular gap with a diameter of 3 kilometers. A mushroom cloud floated over the deep pit. The air froze, and the breath of death crawled into every corner of the cell, and Yake's expression was as silent as death. He finally understands why Uranus has the power to destroy the world. This is a nuclear explosion. The power of Uranus is a nuclear explosion. Yake knows why Joey Boy won't use the power of Uranus. Now, that power is in the hands of the celestial dragons, and Im seems to be free to manipulate it. But Yake will not back down because of the power of the nuclear explosion. He is going to face Uranus directly, and if it fails, he will return to the original world and think of countermeasures. Yake flew in front of the dragon in one go, and Yake finally breathed a sigh of relief when he saw the situation of Uranus. The whole body was flushed red, a large amount of steam emitted from the body, and the seawater produced by Im seemed to be cooling its core. Yake was right. If this level of attack can be seamlessly fired, there is no need to fight at all, and you can't win if you run away. The current situation is estimated to be that the release of a nuclear strike is also a great burden on Uranus, which will cause its body to overheat, and it must cool down, otherwise its body will also collapse. This is Yake's chance. Space resonance. The surrounding space began to tremble, and there was a sound of overwhelmed atmosphere, and the circular space surrounding Uranus was full of void cracks. Uranus. Attack. Seeing this level of attack, Im became anxious. A large amount of seawater poured into Uranus's body to cool it down quickly, and the familiar yellow light quickly condensed in its mouth. On horseback, Yake couldn't help but cursed, "System, return to this world." Advertisement. Yake guessed what Uranus wanted to do at once. It is not afraid of nuclear fusion strikes. It can turn itself into a carrier to launch attacks to clear the enemies that climbed up on its body. The void is shattered. M emerged from a hidden spot on Uranus's body, immediately with a plan in mind. No way. Yake didn't think of a way to deal with this kind of attack for the time being, so he could only retreat first, but at least he didn't know nothing about Uranus and celestial dragons. Fortunately, he didn't rush to attack Marijoy. Yake's body dissipated into the air, leaving this parallel world forever. Yaxo stood directly at the neck of Uranus, looking for Im's position everywhere. To defeat Uranus, killing Im is the key. He is the continuation of the nuclear strike. Without him, Uranus would have to go to the sea to drink water to cool the core if he wanted to continue the attack. Is he dead? Ha 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 ha, I knew Uranus was unstoppable. As if Uranus was struck by lightning, the rough skin continued to shatter, and the huge dragon head was tilted to one side, but it was too big. Although this kind of attack could hurt him, it was not fatal. Im noticed that Yake's breath disappeared, and he must have been gasified by Uranus's attack, as was the case with all the enemies who died under Uranus's attack. Even though the boy's body is a bit weird, he is still a mortal body, and it is impossible to survive. Uranus, he's on your body, use that move, otherwise, the second attack cannot be launched in a short period of time. This can understand the reason why Im can change his body at will and only eat the fruit of the sea. The battery life of Uranus will be improved, so that he can destroy the world faster. Yake spit out a mouthful of thick phlegm, turned into a thunderbolt and hurried away, wishing to install a planetary engine for himself so that he could run faster. Yake, who was looking for IM everywhere, suddenly had a bad feeling. The soles of the feet are shining brightly. It's a pity that there are only a few stupid celestial dragons left. There are not many celestial dragons as smart as the 5 elders. Aiming at Yake, a dazzling white light was emitted, lighting up the entire sky. Go on sleeping, Uranus. The world is not yet ready for destruction. Wait, there are 2 little dolls in the Don Quixote family. Yes, they are good candidates. 146. Return of missing persons. 5 months have passed in this world. Robin, is there still no news from Yake? Reiju looked at the newspapers in the room and the intelligence documents everywhere and asked, only to see Robin shook his head, and Reiju understood. Oh, I don't know where the captain went. Shirahoshi's current situation. Reiju looked sad. A few months after Jacques left, Shirahoshi gradually became a little bit wrong, and she could hear various voices calling her every day. Ren, Chopper and Luo checked and found no cause. Well, it's been almost 6 months, and Jacques will be back soon, and the promise he made will not be false. Robin was also very worried about Shirahoshi's situation, but he was still helpless about Shirahoshi's situation. He searched all kinds of books and found no records describing this situation. He could only collect information from various places to see if he could find Yake. After Yake returned to this world, he found himself in a deserted place. Has it been 5 months? It's okay, I have to go back quickly. Yake took out the eternal pointer of the god of the Sky Kingdom, and hurried back after confirming the direction. Knowing the truth of this world in another world, Yake already knows what to do next and how to do it. Boom tilde. There was a muffled thunder in the clear sky, which was caused by Yake's rapid travel through the atmosphere. Thunder, it must be Yake. Robin ran out of the room and saw the man she had been thinking about outside, and he opened his arms. Yak. Robin threw himself into Yake's arms, and Yake's robe was wet with tears. Miss me so much tilde haha, I'm back, don't worry. Yake hugged Robin and turned around on the spot, and kissed Robin hard. In another world, he hadn't touched a woman for almost a year. Fortunately, Robin's D will inspire him in time. Whoa, I'm sorry Yake, I didn't take good care of Shirahoshi. She has a strange disease, neither Chopper nor Luo can do anything. Robin choked up and said, her shoulders kept twitching, she blamed herself very much. Shirahoshi. What happened to her? Yake frowned, feeling a little bad. Could it be that Shirahoshi's power has awakened? Yake remembered what Sea King said when he went to the Fishman Island with Roger. Advertisement born 10 years later, awakened 15 years later, Shirahoshi is now exactly 15 years old. Robin, don't beat yourself up, let's go and see Shirahoshi, maybe I know what's going on. Yake comforted Robin, put his arms around her shoulders and came to the pool in the center of the god's house. Captain, it's great that you're back, Mr. Yake. Luo and Chopper are checking on Shirahoshi, who looks sick and looks very bad. Go do your own work, it's not caused by a disease, it's because her power has awakened. After Yake came to Shirahoshi's side, he immediately confirmed that Shirahoshi's discomfort was caused by the awakening of his ability. He has not fully awakened yet, and it may need some opportunities. Shirahoshi, look at me, I'm Yake, I'm back. Shirahoshi slowly opened his eyes lit up when he saw Yake, and a smile appeared on his pale face. Master Yake, you finally came to see me, I'm sorry, I feel a little weird recently. Shirahoshi shook his head, as if trying to get the voice out of his head. Shirahoshi, you are just about to awaken your power, do you hear a voice calling your name all the time? Yake sensed it with his heart and found an indescribable force surrounding Shirahoshi's body, which was a sign of Poseidon's power awakening. Putting everything else aside, Shirahoshi's awakening is the most important thing right now. Shirahoshi, I'm going to take you to the calm belt in Qinghai, it should be helpful. Yake turned into a giant and hugged Shirahoshi. Guys, I'll go and fix Shirahoshi's problems first, and I'll be back in a while. After Yake finished speaking, he took Shirahoshi and left, ready to go to Calm Belt. The Calm Belt is the lair of the Sea Kings, where the giant Sea Kings live, and Shirahoshi is their king. Giant Sea Kings can generally live for thousands of years or more, and they should have a solution to this situation. Yake carried Shirahoshi to a calm sea area. There was neither wind nor current in this sea area, and the entire sea was absolutely calm. Shirahoshi, I'm taking you down. Yake took out a diving equipment and put it on himself. Although he could swim, he couldn't breathe underwater. Master Yake, aren't you demon fruit power? It's too dangerous. Advertisement. Shirahoshi held Yake in her palm and said worriedly, but soon she covered her ears, and after coming here, the voice in her ears became louder. Who are you? Several giant sea kings swam around Shirahoshi, as if some ceremony was being held, and Yake was on alert. Although Shirahoshi is the king of all sea kings, what if there is any disobedience? Most of these sea kings are more than 3 kilometers in size, and it will take a while for Yake to solve them, so he can only run away. The king is back. Go and tell the elders that our king is coming. Shirahoshi, you go. I may not go any further, the water pressure here will kill me. Is there a way for you to take Lord Yake with you? He is very important to me. There is another man beside the king, is he the promised one? This is. 2 giant sea kings led the way, and Shirahoshi swam quickly holding the yak. Sea kings, who looked like a monkey, spit out a huge crystal ball, which slowly became smaller as it flew towards Yake, just enough to wrap Yake in it. Shirahoshi's eyes bent into crescents, holding the ball that wrapped Yake in the palm of his hand. Yeah, it's okay, let's go. Shirahoshi clasped his hands together, hoping that the two wise sea kings would figure out a way. That's right, you are our only king, come quickly, the elders are waiting for you. My lord, can I go now? Shirahoshi glanced at Yake, as if asking for Yake's opinion. Hey, human, take it, this is a treasure I picked up. King, please come with us. Shirahoshi looked at the two giant sea kings ignorantly. Yes, is it me? It can keep you from being affected by the sea, remember to return it to me. I don't know, can he understand us? Yake said helplessly that he was not a murloc, and he was wearing only ordinary diving equipment, and it was impossible to go any further. Yake touched his ears in surprise. What's the situation? Didn't he choose the All Things communicator? Where did this sound come from? 147. Elder Poseidon. As the giant sea kings continued to dive, another world appeared in front of Yake. It is far more than the 10,000 meters under the sea of the Fishmen Island. There are huge nests everywhere, and all kinds of strange sea kings live here. Elder, our king is here. The giant sea kings said to the ground, and left after hearing a muffled sound. Are you the mermaid princess of this generation? The ground slowly opened, revealing the whites of the eyes, and Yake discovered that the sole of his feet turned out to be an eye of sea kings, and this eye alone was almost half the size of the giant sea kings. This huge monster gave Yake the illusion of seeing Uranus. Uranus, no, it was a bit bigger than Uranus. I'm Shirahoshi, and he's my husband, Yake. Shirahoshi put Yake beside her, and smiled and greeted the sea king's elders at the bottom of her feet. She felt much better after coming to the bottom of the sea. Ho 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 tilde Shirahoshi, your power is about to awaken. After you are officially awakened, you will be our king, and all sea kings will obey you. The sound came from nowhere, but Yake and Shirahoshi could hear it clearly anyway. Well, hello, I heard the two sea kings just said that you are an elder, right? Do sea kings determine their status according to their body shape? Yake couldn't help asking, if this is only an elder level sea kings, then what is the giant sea kings just now? Adult grade? Sea kings who are over 10,000 years old can be called elder sea kings, but the older sea kings are generally larger in size. Yake swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Then how old are you? Let's think about it. More than 13,000 years old. The elder of East Blue is the oldest. He has been alive since the birth of the planet. Yake choked speechlessly. Good guy. Sea kings are the masters of this planet, right? Sea kings of this size are enough to bite Uranus to death. Grandpa Elder, what did you ask us to do here? Shirahoshi asked curiously. She will come every time a king is born, this is their kingdom. Miss Shirahoshi, since you are here, I will help you with my old bones. After the sound disappeared, there was no more movement, and suddenly Yake was attracted by Shirahoshi's exclamation. Advertisement. Shirahoshi's body glowed with light blue light, and the energy of the sea swam around her body. Master Yake, I seem to have become stronger? Shirahoshi raised his hand casually, and a blue light shattered the rocks on the bottom of the sea, startling Shirahoshi himself. Is this my power? Great, Master Yake, I can help you in the future. Shirahoshi turned around Yake excitedly, and the blue energy scattered around was attracted by Shirahoshi's body, integrated into Shirahoshi's body, and became her power. Shirahoshi, remember, you can only use this power in the sea. You will be officially awakened in a short time, and we will wait for that day to come. After speaking, the eyes on the ground slowly closed, and with a muffled sound, the two giant sea kings from before slowly swam over. Wong, we are all waiting for the day when you wake up, it won't be too far away, now, let's send you back. Shirahoshi glanced at Yake, saw Yake nodded in acquiescence, and said to these sea kings. I want to go back to the sky, and you don't want to call me all day long. Sorry, Wong, we are too anxious. I forgive you, send us up. Yake now feels that if he wants to deal with Uranus, these giant sea kings will definitely play a big role. To deal with supergiant creatures, the power that humans can use is always limited. Only magic can defeat magic. The reason why Uranus is called Uranus is because it occupies the supremacy of the air, and the sea kings can do nothing to it in the air, as long as it comes to the sea. This is the territory of Poseidon. The kingdom of God in the sky. Shirahoshi, you look better, I'm glad you're okay. Robin was relieved to see that Shirahoshi's face was much rosier than before. Sister Robin, I'm fine, thank you for always taking care of me. Shirahoshi held Robin against his cheek and rubbed it like a coquettish kitten. Robin, tell all the remaining crew members to come here, I have something to tell you. Yake said solemnly that it was time to tell everyone the truth he had learned in the past. Advertisement, you've all done a great job during the months I've been gone, thank you so much for your efforts. Yake sat on the main seat and sincerely thanked everyone, took a deep breath, and everyone looked at Yake. This is what I found after disappearing for 5 months, I found Raftel. One word made waves. Robin even stood up and looked at Yake in disbelief. What is Raftel? Captain, is it true what you say? Everyone chattered and asked Yake to find out the truth, only to see Yake slowly took out a rubbing, which was the blank 100-year truth that he rubbed in Raftel. When Yake put the rubbings on the table, everyone was silent. Robin, please read it to them, Yake said lightly. The so-called historical truth must be read by historians to be more credible, and now their expressions are exactly the same as the crew of the Roger pirates. Yake smiled unkindly. Robin took the rubbings away, glanced at 10 lines at a glance, confirmed that it was indeed true, and nodded slightly. Are you ready? Robin's excited voice was a little trembling. The truth of history was right in front of his eyes, and everyone was waiting eagerly, except Yake, who already knew the content. Miss Robin, I'm sorry to trouble you. The old man is very interested in the truth of history. Fujitora sat up straight with a smile and pricked up his ears. Crocodile looked at Yake and thought, did this man find the final island without making a sound? Robin glanced at everyone, and slowly delivered his translation results. Only Robin's voice was left in the room. When Robin talked about the D family and D's will, Luo's reaction was surprising. Luo's muscles tensed and he clenched his fists tightly. It turned out that what Corazon said was right, but not quite right. People with D in their names do not necessarily belong to the D family. As long as you dare to pursue freedom and chase your dreams, you will have the spirit of D. Thinking of this, Luo felt relieved. Isn't the kingdom of God in the sky that Yake inadvertently established as a replica of Joy Boy's utopia? Sure enough, following Yake was the right choice. 148. Have a baby. Robin was telling a blank history, while Yake was watching everyone's expressions with great interest. What surprised Yake was that Anna listened to it with gusto. What happened in the months when he left? Could it be that Robin has already conquered the kitty Anna? Except for Anna, Yake had a panoramic view of everyone's expressions until Robin explained everything, including the 3 ancient weapons. Captain, is Shirahoshi's previous illness the result of awakening the power of Poseidon? As a doctor, Luo said thoughtfully. Yake slapped his head, except for the first few girls with him. Others may not know much about Shirahoshi's identity. Yes, she is the contemporary Poseidon, and it won't be long before Shirahoshi will fully awaken. Yake said with certainty that there are many people in this world who know the identity of Shirahoshi, as long as they are not noticed by celestial dragons. It's really unimaginable that what happened in the blank 100 years turned out to be so twists and turns. Fujitora couldn't help laughing, whether it was Joey Boy or D's will. These all refreshed Fujitora's worldview. The world government was not the Justice League from the very beginning, and now it is even more corrupt. Such a world can be subverted. Captain, since you have arrived at Raftel, have you become the Pirate King? Perona asked curiously, if Captain Yake became the One Piece, wouldn't he be the crew of the One Piece? Coupled with the fact that I am the captain's right-hand man, rounding myself up is not equal to Pluton, Queen of the Nether, and I am a little excited when I think about it. Yake himself doesn't care. He doesn't want to bear the title of One Piece. He is not a pirate in the pure sense at all. The only pure pirate is Buggy, the man who has been hunting for treasure all his life. No, our goal is to subvert this world. I will not make the news of Raftel public. We will tell everyone about it until the day we launch a general attack on the world government. Yake was silent for a while before slowly saying, defeating the world government is easy, and the only ones worthy of attention are I Am and Uranus, who are the most threatening opponents. Next, I decided to cooperate with the Revolutionary Army. Their purpose is the same as ours. We need more allies. We need to find a man, Vegapunk, whose whereabouts are only known to the Revolutionary Army. After returning from the past to the present, Yake has been thinking about how to solve Uranus. Its power threat is too great, and it can destroy his kingdom of God in the sky casually. After thinking about it, Yake only thought of Vegapunk. It is not invincible, and it also has weaknesses. Yake decided to use the power of science to solve Uranus. Judge's scientific research level is too low. Vegapunk has been under house arrest by the world government for so long, so he must know something about Uranus. Advertisement, I have no objection, Captain, no objection. Everyone agreed to Yake's decision with one voice, and then Yake released another big news. Very well, I will contact the Revolutionary Army after a while, and you are all ready. We will go to war with the nations soon. I Am can control Uranus and increase its endurance, and his presence has a great influence on the plan to hunt Uranus. I Am can change his body through an unknown method, and if he wants to kill him completely, he can only kill his soul. The only known soul-related abilities are Big Mom's soul fruit and Brook's underworld fruit. Yake can persuade Brook to help, but Big Mom is hard to say. Yake is going to kill her to get the soul fruit. Ant. You should ask, Captain, why are you going to war with Big Mom? Is it because of her fruit? Yes and no, except for Shanks and me. The other 2 of 4 emperors are unstable factors, not only Big Mom, Kaido is also one of our targets. Yake said confidently that with the addition of 3 top devil fruits, he is no longer afraid of anyone, and even I Am can't compete with him, it's just that it's harder to kill. Well, Captain, we are all following your arrangement, and it just so happens that we haven't been active for a long time. Reiju stretched his waist, and gave Yake a provocative look. Yake stared blankly and waited for me. Ha ha ha, good momentum. Well, come here first today. I will call you again if there is something to do. They left one after another. Robin and Reiju sat motionless, and 2 confident women stared at Yake ambiguously. Captain Tilda, I haven't thanked you for the gift you gave me last time. Tell me, what reward do you want? Reiju pulled down his collar a little, revealing a deep career line which looked promising. Not to be outdone, Robin unbuttoned the 2 buttons, and the plump steamed buns popped out, flickering. Yake. I really like the descendants of D. I wish I could have more. Yake showed a smile, walked into the room with Robin and Reiju in his arms. In order to inherit D's will, add bricks and tiles. Advertisement. After working until midnight, the movement in the room stopped. Jacques gasped, man, Hancock almost got his, dodged. In his sleep, Hancock felt someone was beside him, and kicked him subconsciously, but the kick was in vain. After covering Robin and Rayleigh with a quilt, Yake came to Jew Snake Island wearing a pair of beach pants. "Hurry up, Yake. Let's hurry up. Why can't your pants be torn?" Looking down, Yake shook his head and denied that there must be something wrong somewhere else. "Hancock. You smell like her perfume." Tilda. Strange to say, Yake and Hancock have been rushing to have a baby every time these years, but Hancock's stomach has never responded. Hancock opened his eyes. He was very familiar with Yake's appearance, and threw himself into Yake's arms, for fear that he would escape. Yake came to Hancock's bedroom and found that she was asleep, the corners of her mouth slightly raised, as if she was still dreaming. "Hancock, let's have a baby." "Yake. Can't I?" Yake looked at Hancock sincerely. Hancock covered his mouth in surprise, with tears in his eyes, and pushed Yake to the bed. Robin and Rayleigh fell asleep with contented faces, and Yake really wanted to have a cigarette, but unfortunately he didn't smoke. Hancock wrinkled his nose and sniffed Yark, realizing that something was wrong. "Hiss, Tilda. Why does it smell like a woman? Did you come to my place last?" Tilda, who is it? You are so courageous." "Yake. You are finally back. Agia misses you so much." 149. Goodbye Dorag. The next day, Yake left in a daze. Hearing that he was going to have a baby, Hancock insisted on having S*X with Yake all night, and now Yake just wants to simply sleep. Kamiju is very quiet, just in time to squint for a while. "Boat. Shish, Anna, the captain is sleeping, don't wake him up." Anna walked into Shenju excitedly with breakfast, but Robin covered her mouth. Anna left with a grieved face, and gave Yake a reluctant look. "These leftovers can only be eaten by Shirahoshi's sharks. It's a pity that they used to be eaten by the captain." "Robin, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, has arrived. Is the captain still sleeping?" Rayleigh whispered in Robin's ear. According to the captain's request, she had already contacted Drago, and now there is a piece of land in the God of Sky Kingdom that is the base of the Revolutionary Army. "Please ask Mr. Long to wait. The captain may have been exhausted yesterday." Haha Tilda. The two women looked at each other and smiled. Everything that happened last night was still vivid in his mind. "Call the dragon over here. By the way, I want to sleep on the sofa today." Yake came out of the god's house and yawned, holding a piece of roasted meat in his hand. Now Yake urgently needs a lot of nutrition to replenish energy, otherwise he will not be able to face future battles. "Yeah, good captain, I just want to sleep on the sofa today." Rayleigh stared at Yake charmingly, and gently lifted Yake's chin with one finger. Maybe you won't be able to sleep, or you'd better go back to your room." Yake was a little moved. Although he was crazy yesterday, his body could still bear it. "It's okay, Captain Tilda, I can sleep on top of you." There was a smile on the corner of Rayleigh's mouth, and when he said the words of tiger and wolf, the whole Yake moved his index finger, and Rayleigh was really getting better and better. "Ahem, let's talk about it when the time comes. Let's call Mr. Dorag over here first." Yake's face straightened, and he said righteously, "Women will only affect my discharge." Advertisement. Drago walked into Shenju wearing a green cloak. "Your Excellency Yake, long time no see. What's the point of calling me here so anxiously?" Seeing Yake lazily lying on the chair, I couldn't help but feel a little emotional. The god of the kingdom of the Sky God is really comfortable. I still need 007 every day, and I am worried about the Revolutionary Army. "Mr. Dorag, you came just in time. Sit down, you're welcome." Yake motioned for Drago to sit down quickly, reached out and released an electromagnetic barrier, and put on an insurance. "Mr. Dorag, I want to carry out more in-depth cooperation with the Revolutionary Army. I wonder if you have any intention?" "Oh, that's great. Lord Yake has any ideas, but it's okay to say?" Drago showed a smile, thinking that Yake wanted to increase the share of arms transactions, which was good news for the Revolutionary Army. "Before collaborating, you should see this." Yake handed Raftel's historical text translation to Drago, and said lightly. "Huh? Have you found a new historical text? Your Excellency Yake really has great powers. Our Revolutionary Army has been active all over the world for so long before we found some. It is still not as fast as His Excellency Yake." Drago took the opportunity to compliment. The main purpose of the Revolutionary Army was to help the local people to overthrow those brutal kings. The collection of historical texts was just incidental, mainly because no one could translate them. "I found this at Raftel some time ago. I think Mr. Dorag must be very interested." Yake couldn't help laughing. No matter how he thought about it, Drago never thought that Yake found Raftel in this way, and ordinary people dare not think so. After all, the era of great pirates has been open for more than 20 years, and no one has found the so-called One Piece. Drago's eyes immediately changed, and he immediately took the translation into his hand and looked at it carefully, and the room suddenly became quiet. Yake didn't speak either, quietly waiting for Drago to finish reading. Dorag can be regarded as someone who has some knowledge of history. He confirmed the authenticity of the translation before reading half of it. He glanced at Yake, who was smiling but not smiling, and continued to read. Tilda. When the translation turned to the last page, Dorag let out a long sigh of relief, trying to calm down his heart. "It's really shocking, Your Excellency Yake, this 100 years of history is undoubtedly blank. I now know what our Revolutionary Army should do." Drago slowly closed the translation and placed it on the table with a solemn face. Advertisement. Mr. Dorag, it's not so much the Revolutionary Army, it's better to say what the Kingdom of God and the Revolutionary Army should do. Your Excellency Yake, what do you mean? Yake stood up from his seat, put his hands on the table and looked into Drago's eyes. Dorag and Yake both said the man's name, Vegapunk. Speaking of bears, Drago's mood was depressed. Bartholomew Big Bear's contribution to the Revolutionary Army was unparalleled, and all the Revolutionary Army knew this well. We do know where the Vegapunk is, but it changes every day, and it's always guarded by Kizaru. After the base of the Revolutionary Army moved to the Kingdom of God in the sky, he also observed the living conditions of the residents of the Kingdom of God in the sky. Although it was somewhat different from what he imagined, everyone had a smile on their faces. This is rare in other countries, even the enlightened king will be overwhelmed by the gold in the sky. He once held a meeting within the Revolutionary Army to analyze whether Yake was their friend or enemy, but without exception, almost all the cadres of the Revolutionary Army always believed that Yake and his Kingdom of the Sky God were both the Revolutionary Army friend. Yake frowned and said, "Mr. Shang is indeed a respectable person, is there really no way to save him? Mr. Dorag, the technology of our Sky God Kingdom can be shared with the Revolutionary Army, but I need a person. Our Revolutionary Army is willing to become an ally with the Kingdom of God in the sky, and our goal has been the same from the very beginning." Drago believed Yake's words. Even though he was a pirate, he was still one of the 4 emperors on the sea. "We need to form an alliance to fight against the world government and change the world." Doral sighed and sat down again. Is Vegapunk at the secret base of the Marine Science Force? I don't know, maybe the only way to know the answer is to transform his Vegapunk himself. Ha 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 ha, it seems that we have thought about it together, Lord Yake. Our Revolutionary Army's actions against Dr. Vegapunk have never stopped, and the sacrifice of the bear is meaningful. Drago stood up and took off his hood and extended his right hand to Yake. This is where Drago has a headache. Drago thought for a moment, since he is an ally, there is nothing to hide. 150. Carry out in-depth cooperation? Changes every day? Yake directly ignored Kizaru, and now he has no pressure to play with the 3 admirals, as long as he knows the position of Vegapunk. That's right, the Marine Science Force Base is a mobile warship that sails along a specific route on the comm belt. We only know a few specific locations on this route. Dorag frowned and said that with Marine Admiral guarding them, their rescue would be very difficult. Unless the high-end forces of the Revolutionary Army were dispatched together, it would be possible to rescue Vegapunk, but the price would be too high. That would be great. I will personally rescue Dr. Vegapunk. You guys prepare a rescue plan for Vegapunk, and I will resist Marine's counterattack for you. Yake said with a relaxed face. Now the only person in this world who can make Yake afraid is Uranus. I am waiting for him to get the soul fruit as a fat pig to be slaughtered. Then thank you, Your Excellency Yake. We will notify you as soon as we confirm the location of Vegapunk. Drago said solemnly. He still knows Yake's strength, one of the top combat forces in the sea, double demon fruit power. What he doesn't know is that Yake is already a 3 series demon fruit power, and he is not afraid of seawater and seastone. Very good, by the way, our ARC pirates will fight Big Mom's pirates in a while. Your Revolutionary Army can be prepared, because this time I will kill Big Mom. Yake said casually, completely ignoring the ant, but after the death of the ant, all nations will be in chaos, and the Kingdom of the Sky is relatively short of manpower, unless he can subdue Katakuri. Big Mom. Your Excellency Yake, I understand. I will notify the cadres lurking in Wangwo to evacuate. Drago immediately understood what Yake meant, which was to let him withdraw his friendly troops to avoid accidental injury. After Ant's death, your Revolutionary Army will recover her territory. I don't need so many territories. On the contrary, Drago was a little uneasy. Yake worked hard to benefit them, and the Revolutionary Army couldn't afford this gift. Your Excellency Yake, how can this be possible, our Revolutionary Army? I'm not interested in ruling the world, I never thought about it. Advertisement. Yake waved his hand and interrupted the insincere words of Dora's maxim. Yake didn't lie, he really had no interest in ruling the world. It is enough to keep his 1/3 of an acre of the Kingdom of God in the sky, and maybe one day he will not even have the Kingdom of God in the sky. Isn't it nice to hang out with Robin and Reiju Hancock every day? Ah, that's it, I understand, then I wish Your Excellency Yake a victory. Drago showed a strange expression like Sabine, with 10,000 disbelief in his eyes. Yake is also very helpless about this. The biggest mistake in his life is to create the Kingdom of God in the sky. Well, that's it. If there is anything I can ask Robin, she is responsible for the follow-up cooperation with your Revolutionary Army. I'm only in charge of sharks. After speaking, Yake showed an intriguing smile, and personally sent Dorag to leave the Shenju. After sending Dorag away, Jake returned to his seat and read the newspapers of the past few months. He disappeared for nearly half a year. Too many changes have taken place in this world. Yake knows nothing about the world except the Kingdom of God in the sky. Aokiji became the Marine Marshal, but Akainu did not leave the Marine, but stuck to the Admiral post conscientiously. It's just that the relationship with Aokiji has become colder. Apart from missions, Akainu is missions. All the supernovas in New World are the targets of Akainu, and the days of supernovas are not easy now. Not only was he hung up and beaten by the 3 emperors of New World, but also Akainu, a mad dog, bit his asterisk behind him. But the supernovas are more afraid of Akainu, at least the 3 emperors may take a fancy to their potential to save their lives. Akainu is different. The big prison under the sea is too lazy to send him to the prison, so he executes him on the spot. If he doesn't kill Akainu, he will be killed by Akainu. The Whitebeard Pirates have not been disbanded, and now Ace is the new captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, and Marco is the deputy captain. However, there are still many people who quit the Whitebeard Pirates. The rest are more supportive of Ace, and since Whitebeard's death, Ace has been working hard to reign in the Lost Ground, and has laid a lot of ground in New World. Marine has raised Ace's bounty to 2 billion. In Yake's opinion, the water content is a bit too high, probably because he is Roger's son. Yake estimates that his strength is similar to that of Kaur, but Reiju can hang him. Advertisement Yark wasn't too sure if Brook's ability could hurt souls, but it was worth a try. Marco stood beside Ace and persuaded, although Ace has already offered a bounty of 2 billion, but Marco knows very well that challenging the 4 emperors with Ace's current strength is not much different from dying, no matter which 4 emperors. I am changing the body is like soulware, the soul occupies the body, maybe Perona's negative ghost is also useful. Reiju's dark fruit is not sure whether it can attract the soul body. Marco, do you remember what Dad once told me? The Straw Hat Pirates have really disappeared, and there has been no news for nearly 6 months, except for someone. Ace showed a nostalgic look, remembering what his father said to him that day. Marco spread his hands, with a helpless expression on his face. His father said too much. How did he know what he said to Ace? Ace took off his hat. Dad said, Yake is a newcomer who went to sea on the same day as you, but he has far surpassed you. At that time, I was still not convinced, and said that I must defeat Yake to prove it to my father. Yake continued to read the newspaper. Meanwhile, Yake saw a smile on the corner of the mouth of the familiar skull, and Brook, one of the 4 pirates, came out of the mountain. Ace, are you really going to challenge God Yake? He is stronger than Dad, and he saved your life. I didn't expect him to surpass me by so much, but I will never give up, Marco. Ace and Marco looked at each other and smiled, and their ship was getting closer and closer to the island of Dingtian. Marco, I know, I just want to see how strong the man who defeated Dad is. One day, I will defeat him. Huh? Be my son? King of Soul Concert? Ace looked at the island of Dingtian in the distance and said that it was an upright duel that Yake killed his father, but this time his father lost. Ace hated why he was not there at the time, so he wanted to challenge Yake. Clear the gap between yourself and Yake, and then, work hard to become stronger. Ha ha ha, no, not long after I joined the Whitebeard Pirates, Dad mentioned Yake. 151. Ace visits. Bang bang. Come in. Robin walked into the room with a slender waist, and Yake was concentrating on reading the newspaper. Captain, Ace has brought the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates to Ascension Island. I think they may be looking for you. Robin naturally sat on Yake and put his arms around Yake's neck. HMPH tilde Ace. He doesn't want to avenge Whitebeard, does he? Ha ha ha, don't worry about it, let me handle it. Yake embraced Robin and kissed deeply. Yake's and Lucian claws had already penetrated into Robin's loose clothes, and he didn't let her go until Robin was distraught and out of breath. Okay, the captain still has work to do, let's go. Snapped. Yake patted Robin's buttocks. The elasticity was very good, but Yake decided to turn his head and leave, otherwise he would have to pay the public food. What AB asterisk 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 D? HMPH tilde. Robin watched Yake leave with blurred eyes, feeling lost, and wanted to change fat again. Yak hummed a little tune and walked to the sea temple in the center of the Kamiju, where Shirahoshi was active. Master Yake. You are here, I feel much better today. Shirahoshi sticks out of the water like a mermaid, graceful, wait, she looks like a mermaid. Ha ha ha, Shirahoshi, Robin will come to teach you later, study hard, come on. Yake just wanted to reach out to touch Shirahoshi's hair. Shirahoshi took the initiative to come over, seemed to enjoy Yake's touch. Yake provoked a smile. Shirahoshi was much more obedient than Anna. Thinking of Anna, Jake suddenly had a bad feeling. Yaksama. Yake's world turned dark all of a sudden. After taking a short breath, there was soft hair all over his nose and a special fragrance. It was Anna. What's the matter? Anna, come down first, and talk if you have something to say. Shirahoshi couldn't help laughing, covering his mouth and snickering. Sister Anna is too powerful, she never dared to do this to Master Yake. It may be that Yake is too small, and she is afraid of suffocating Yake to death. It took Yake a lot of effort to pull Anna off her body, and pinch the nape of her fate, otherwise she really couldn't be cured. Say, what are you doing? Yaksama, I don't want to go to school, meow. Anna's voice was inaudible, for fear of being heard by others, she looked around like a thief. Advertisement, didn't you eat? Speak louder. Yake picked out his ears, indicating that he couldn't hear, and slipped Anna closer to his ears. Hush. Don't let Sister Robin hear, or she will make up lessons with me tilde. Anna stretched out a finger to her mouth and hinted frantically, quite excitedly. Drink tilde. Yake thought that sure enough, Anna didn't want to go to class again, maybe because she went back and thought she had found a rescuer. Okay, Anna, since you don't want to go to class so much, I will ask you 3 questions. As long as you answer all of them, I will approve that you will never have to go to class again. Yeah. When Anna heard that there was such a good thing, she broke away from Yake's hand excitedly, and did 3 backflips on the spot. Boy, is your daddy Tom? You are not allowed to lie to me? After Anna calmed down, she guessed that these 3 questions must not be so easy to answer. Just ask. Yake thought for a while and said, what is the will of D? Robin just told everyone about the 100-year history of the blank, which includes the will of D, which is a sub-question. Anna bit her finger and thought hard, and suddenly remembered what Robin had told her, and it was Yake's original words. Is it this one? Anna poked 2 fingers on her middle-developed little white rabbit and asked cautiously. Of course. Yake just wanted to deny it and then froze. What she said was so reasonable that I was speechless. Forget it, do the math for you, right? Next question. Yake said disgustedly, at Anna's level, there is still a Mariana Trench behind Robin, which is far away. Who is the one with the lowest bounty in the entire kingdom of the sky? Excluding those without a bounty. Anna thought for a moment and blurted out. Brother Beppo. His bounty is only 1,000 Baileys. Wait, no. It's Dr. Chopper. He is also in the kingdom of Sky God, and his reward is the lowest. Advertisement. Anna saw through Yake's trick halfway, with an expression of coming to praise me. Courtesy Chopper. Are you? Yes. Next question. What is the relationship between Garp and Roger? Yake sneered unemotionally. There are two answers to this question. If you only answer one, go to school honestly, kitty. Roger and Garp are rivals for life, and Garp is also Roger's father. Anna said confidently, with a proud face, I didn't expect it. This matter has already been reported in the newspapers, and she likes to read the 8 trigrams edition the most. Hiss Tilda. Yake gasped. The clown was myself. Okay, Anna, you don't have to go to school from today. Yake kept his word and announced that Anna had graduated from primary school. Anna suddenly fell ill on the spot and fainted from excitement. Leave it to me, Captain. Robin's phantom emerges straight from the ground and carries Anna away. Yake shook his head. The child was saved. Is this the kingdom of God in the sky? It really lives up to its reputation. This place is like heaven. After Ace and Marco took the ladder to the kingdom of heaven, they were shocked by the scenery of the kingdom of the gods in the sky. Murlocs, mermaids, and human beings with wings were in perfect harmony. Is this the kingdom of gods? Ace, be careful, this is already Yake's territory. Although we have a little friendship with him, we can't make a move at will. Pineapple Head said cautiously, although it was his first time to come to this place. Jinbei. Mr. Ace. Jinbei, who was patrolling with the Murloc army, heard someone shouting, turned his head and saw that it was Ace, and couldn't help being a little excited. Mr. Ace, Mr. Marco, what are you doing here? Haha, Jinbei, I'm here to challenge Yake. Ace said with a hearty smile, the reunion of old friends is really nostalgic. But Jinbei's expression tightened suddenly. Mr. Ace, if you are here to avenge Father Whitebeard, I advise you not to go. The captain's strength is not something you can compete with. I know, I just want to test how far there is between me and him. Ace looked at the golden clock in the sky calmly, and flames burst out of his body unconsciously. Mr. Ace, if you insist on challenging the captain, then I have to stop you. Seeing that Ace is determined to challenge Yake, Jinbei sighs in his heart. He can't let Ace go directly to die. 152. Ace's challenge. Jinbei set up an attacking stance, just like Ace's reaction when he said he was going to kill Whitebeard. Jinbei, let me come. A dazzling thunderlight fell from the sky, and Yake was already standing between Jinbei and Ace, stopping Jinbei. Captain, Mr. Ace is my friend, Jinbei said embarrassingly, a little at a loss. Yake laughed dumbly. Don't worry, I will pay attention to propriety. If he's going to kill Ace, just put a kainu on it, why save him? Mr. Yake, I am Ace, thank you for saving my life in Summit War. Ace took off his hat and bowed to Yake to express his gratitude. But, after all, Dad died at your hands, sigh. Want to do it for Dad. Okay, I see, you are still the first person to challenge me, I hope you don't let me down. Yake interrupted Ace's words, if you want to fight, I will fight. Although Ace's strength is not strong, he is very courageous. No one in the supernova dares to challenge him in the kingdom of God in the sky. Change your location, this is a town. Yake glanced at the overcrowded streets. It is human nature to eat melons, but they can't afford this melon. Yake took Ace all the way to the place of trial, the floating islands. There is no one living here, so it is a good choice for fighting. Ace on the opposite side is already burning with monstrous flames, and he is full of fighting spirit. Marco and Jinbei are watching the battle. Ace, what is your dream after Whitebeard's death? Yake looked at Ace with his hands in his arms, quietly waiting for his answer. When Whitebeard was around, his dream was to make Whitebeard the Pirate King. What about now? I will inherit my father's will, start the big family of the Whitebeard Pirates again, and let the name of the Whitebeard Pirates resound in the sea again. This is my dream. After Ace said this, his fighting spirit became more and more high. The flames behind him shot up into the sky, and the whole venue radiated a wave of heat. Whitebeard's will. There was a picture in Yake's mind. Ace stretched out his right hand and said to Supernova, be my son. Thinking of this, Yake showed a weird smile on his face, seeing Ace with a chill. Ha ha ha, that's a good idea, come on, Ace, let me see if you have the strength. Advertisement. Yake hooked his finger at Ace provocatively. Stop looking down on people. Fire fist. Ace's arm turned into a huge flame with super high temperature, and then stretched his arm to attack Yake with a fist of flame. Yake stood still and did not move. Jinbei, who was watching the battle from the sidelines, didn't fluctuate in his heart, and even wanted to yawn a little bit. It would be a miracle if he could hurt Yake. Yake's mind moved slightly and released a close-fitting electromagnetic barrier, and the flames swept across Yake's body, but Yake in the electromagnetic barrier was unscathed. Shenhuo Shiranui. Seeing that this trick didn't work, Ace was no exception, and directly condensed 2 flaming spears to stab Yake. Play close combat with me. Yake didn't drink and didn't need Ace to sober up. Conqueror's Profound Truth Dragon Fist. Yake punched Ace in the face in the direction of Ace, making his painting style surpass everyone. Bang, bang bang tilde. Ace was directly sent flying, turned a few somersaults on the ground, and his aura weakened a lot. Ace, are you okay? Marcos was eager, and rushed over to check Ace's situation, and found that although Ace looked miserable, he still had a breath and could be saved. Marco stretched out his hand to release healing Xingyan to Ace for treatment, but was stopped by Ace. No, Marco, I can still fight. Ace struggled to stand up, his eyes full of unwillingness. He knew that he was not Yake's opponent, but he didn't expect the gap to be so big, and he was seriously injured with just one blow, and almost rolled his eyes. Ace, don't be brave, you are not his opponent, admit defeat. Marco persuaded Ace earnestly. During the Summit War, Marco knew how outrageous Yake's combat power was, and it was not wrong for his father to lose in his hands. No, I have my last breath, get out of the way, Marco. Flame is on the top. Advertisement. Ace unleashes a large cloud of flames in the area around him, creating a huge wall of flames that separates Marco. Great Flame Precept, Emperor Yan. Ace tried his best to release several circles of huge spiral flames on the soles of his feet. Through these flames, he gathered into a huge sun-like great fireball and threw it at Yake. The momentum was very terrifying. Lei Ying. Yake slowly stretched out his right hand and clenched his fist, piercing thunder spread in the air, and a huge thunderball collided with Ace's fireball, directly triggering a violent explosion. The aftermath of the battle dissipated, and Marco spread his Xingyan wings to protect him, and looked towards the center of the battlefield. Yake turned into lightning and disappeared in place, leaving behind a bewildered Jinbei. As expected, Ace had already knelt down, lying on the ground like a puddle of mud, while Yake, the other half, stood proudly, as if nothing happened. Wait, they went to town. Jinbei, let's go, revolving heaven makes the island. Marco took Ace to a hotel in Angel Island, ready to let Ace rest for a while before leaving. Marco carefully placed Ace on the bed, ready to untie his clothes and wrap him in a bandage. The dazzling electric current combined into a human form. Yake's figure slowly appeared, and then saw the scene full of love. Sorry, I didn't know you were bothering. I haven't got in the car yet. Marco held Ace in his arms and looked at Yake gratefully. Yake, thank you for saving Ace's life. We are convinced that we lost. After speaking, he took Ace and flew away. Marco looked at Ace, and then at his own actions, and immediately blushed. No way. Jinbei himself notified the City Defense Army to arrange an airship, otherwise he would have to swim back. Whether it is physical skills or ability, Yake crushes Ace in all directions. Not only Ace, 99% of people in this world are inferior to Yake. There are very few people who can fight Yake. Ace is not wronged. Yake just wanted to keep him, but found that Marco had flown away. He wanted to take the Whitebeard pirates to beat up Big Mom, but he didn't expect to escape so quickly. Crackling Tilda. Marco sprinkled healing green flames all over Ace's body, and the injuries on Ace's body gradually improved at a speed visible to the naked eye, but the exhaustion of physical strength was irreparable. Wait. Marco lunges towards the Ace phase, turning Ace over, fingers under his nostrils, still breathing weakly. Yake's beach shorts were rattled by the airwaves generated by the explosion, and the hair on his legs was blown crooked. 153. Behemoth of War. Marco panicked and explained to Yake with dancing. Yake, it's not what you think, I'm treating Ace. Yake patted Marco on the shoulder and encouraged him with his eyes. No need to explain, Marco, I can understand. Don't worry, I have no other advantages, but my mouth is very strict. I know this matter, and I will never tell anyone else. Marco wanted to cry but had no tears, and if he continued to describe it, it would only get darker and darker. He never thought that Yake was such a person. What's the matter with you here? Marco took a deep breath, calmed down, and regained his composure. I'm going to war with Wang Guo in a few days. Do you want to get involved? If I remember correctly, Ant took a lot of your territory after Whitebeard died, right? Are you going to take it back? Yake is going to invite the Whitebeard pirates to take a share of the pie. The main reason is that the Ant has too many children. Although their strengths are uneven, there are many people who cannot stand up to their abilities, and some of their abilities are rather strange. Big Mom pirates? Are you going to kill Big Mom? Marco frowned and said that the Whitebeard pirates are rebuilding now. Although most of the high-end combat power is still there are almost half fewer people than in its heyday. It is not a wise choice to launch a war at this time. You don't need to work hard, just help the Ark pirates restrain the children of the Ant, and the Ant will leave it to me. This time, I will make the Big Mom pirates disappear from this world. Yake said confidently that the Revolutionary Army is going to let Sabo and Bello Betty, who has the ability to inspire fruits, assist in the battle. With Sabo, he does not believe that Ace will not go. Marco is now the second in command of the Whitebeard pirates, with a relatively high voice and status. As long as he agrees, the Whitebeard pirates will definitely come to help. The Ark pirates also fought as a whole, suppressing all the children of the Ant. When Yake kills the Ant, the kingdoms will be destroyed. I agreed. How will the benefits be distributed after the war? Advertisement. Marco thought for a while and agreed to Yake. He was very confident in Yake's strength, and the Big Mom pirates might be in danger. I only want the population and devil fruit, and you can talk to the Revolutionary Army about the rest. Yake smiled and said that land and money are meaningless to him. Except for arms sales, Wabo Metal can provide him with a steady stream of income, which is not bad for this little money. Revolutionary Army. The Revolutionary Army is also cooperating with us. When Ace wakes up, tell him that there is a man named Sabo in the Revolutionary Army who will participate in this battle. 10 days later, attack all nations. After Yake finished speaking, he left a phone bug number and left the room. Marco looked at Ace, who fell into a deep sleep and was speechless for a long time. The research and development base of the Kingdom of God in the sky. Yake came directly to Judge's laboratory. Judge, is the war monster I want ready? Judge proudly took out a remote control, pressed the red button, and a door of the laboratory opened, and inside was a neatly arranged giant airship. Master Yake, the project was completed a month ago, and the test was just completed yesterday. This war behemoth is definitely a killing machine that subverts this era. With it, we can conquer the world. Judge's tone was full of pride, and it wasn't that he was complacent, but that this giant war beast was indeed an epic-making work. Resembling a whale in shape, a war behemoth can hold 1,000 soldiers and is equipped with an electromagnetic cannon that can penetrate islands with a single blow. With such a weapon, one war behemoth is equipped with 10 doors. Not bad, very good. How about battery life? Yake nodded in satisfaction. Technology is the right direction for this world. This kind of war machine is already comparable to the lethality of the 4 Emperors level powerhouse. The whole body is also very brittle with wabomel, which cannot hold the 4 Emperors. Continuous strikes, typical high attack and low defense. But the war behemoth can be mass-produced, and this is his scariest place. Yake found a bench and sat down casually, and asked casually, "Very well, Judge, I heard that Vegapunk used to be your colleague?" Judge frowned when he heard Vegapunk's name. As a colleague, he always hoped that a wise monster like Vegapunk would die soon. But it's been a long time since I heard his name on the sea. Advertisement, that's right, I used to do research with Vegapunk and Gaisaw in the Marine Science Corps, but the relationship between the three of us is not very good, Mr. Yake. If you are looking for Vegapunk, I can't help you, what's busy. The corner of Yake's mouth rose slightly. It's nothing, I will find Vegapunk in a short time, and then you have to be mentally prepared to work with Vegapunk again. What, Master Yake, do you have Vegapunk's whereabouts? Judge tried his best to stare at Yake with wide eyes, and his breathing was a little short. He is very clear about Vegapunk's research ability. He can do what he can, and he can do what he can't. If he came to the laboratory, what would be waiting for him? Ha ha ha, don't worry, Judge, you have worked for the God of the Sky Kingdom for so long, and you have worked hard without credit, not to mention that your credit is not small. I will not kill a donkey. Yake patted Judge on the shoulder to relax him. Not only Vegapunk, I also want to get Guy over here. The three of you will work together to research something. As for what it is, I will tell you when the time comes. Yake smiled mysteriously and left the laboratory, leaving Judge with a tangled face. Although he survived, the feeling of being hit by Vegapunk's genius wisdom is not so good. This time, Yake's plan to attack the nations was well prepared, and he directly suppressed the army and took down the Big Mom pirates at the lowest cost. Katakuri is a good crew member. After the death of the ant, as long as he surrenders Yake with his brothers and sisters, he will subdue him. If he resists stubbornly, he can only be killed on the spot. Blue tilde. At this time, Yake's phone bug rang, so he had to find a place to land and answer the call. Moshi Moxie tilde. Captain, a group of suspicious people has entered the Kingdom of Sky God. I suspect they are agents of CP. Do you want to kill them? Robin's voice came over the phone, and she notified Yake immediately after receiving the report from Dengtian Island. CP. Don't panic, let's see what they want to do. Yake, a spy in the God of Sky Kingdom, knew that it was the first time he had seen Yake who was exposed so quickly, unless they didn't want to hide their identities in the first place. Okay, I'll keep an eye on them. 154. Delisted CP9. The suspicious person Robin mentioned was the group led by Rob Lucci. After the Enies lobby incident, they were framed by Spandam, were expelled from the world government, and have been hiding in the Middle East of Marine's pursuit. Today they came to Sky Kingdom because they wanted to make a living here. Lucci, do you think God Yake will really accept us? After all, we are from the world government? Khalifa's tone was full of worry. According to the information circulated in the CP, Yake is a man who is very dissatisfied with the world government. Khalifa, I heard that Yake is very lustful. He has 3 girlfriends. Why don't you try hard? Seduce this god, maybe. You are sexual harassment. When Khalifa heard Jabra's out-of-tune words, he directly raised his long legs in black net stockings and kicked him like a pig's head. Stop making trouble, we have already been expelled from the world government, whether he accepts us or not, we have to be mentally prepared. If it doesn't work, we can only go to Spandam for a showdown. The goose Hadley on Rob Lucci's shoulder stopped the two, and Rob Lucci looked calm. A group of people came to Angel Island, but saw an unexpected woman. Rob Lucci raised his hand to signal everyone to stop. Nico Robin, I recognize you. Rob Lucci stepped forward alone, spreading his hands to show no malice. Of course I know that you have no malicious intentions, otherwise you would not be able to come here. Tell me, what is your purpose? To catch me? Robin clapped his hands and looked at the group of people who had hunted her down before, but didn't see the scum of Spandam. We want to join the Kingdom of God in the sky, we have nowhere to go, and the world government has removed us. This time it was Rob Lucci himself who spoke, and Hadley was silent, preening his feathers silently. If we can't accept our group of people, we will leave immediately and never stay any longer. This sentence stumped Robin. They just wanted to join the Kingdom of God in the sky in exchange for God's protection. It stands to reason that anyone can join the Kingdom of God in the sky, as long as they abide by the laws here. Advertisement, but considering that these people used to work for the world government, who knows if they have any intentions, and the Enies lobby incident itself has some knowledge, and these people have been lurking in the capital of 7 waters for 5 years without being exposed. Seemingly sensing Robin's entanglement, Yake slowly landed next to Robin. CP9. Robin, what are they doing here? Seeing the pigeon on Lucci's shoulder, and Khalifa's long black silk legs, Yake suddenly remembered their identities. Robin asked Yake to bow his head, and whispered in his ear the purpose of Lucci and others and his own views. HMPH Tilda want to join the divine kingdom of the sky? No problem, you are safe here, but don't have any small thoughts. When I have a better plan, add me to my army and fight for me. You better make a decision quickly, because I don't have much time. Yake said lightly, although these people in CP9 are not strong, but all of them have received professional training, it is very good to be an instructor. Your Excellency Yake, we are willing to join. Rob Lucci agreed immediately. Each of them is a person with some strength. How could they be willing to be a good citizen? Joining another organization is the best way out. Very good, but this is conditional. You need to be instructors for a period of time, and cultivate, etc. for the kingdom of God in the sky. Yake counted, and there were exactly 7 people and 1 pigeon. Each of the 7 of you can train 10 qualified agents, and build an espionage organization based on this. Let's call it GZD. Robin, call Robin over here. Yake first asked Robin to ask Luo to come over and take out their hearts. The army entering the kingdom of Sky God would inevitably involve state secrets, so we still have to keep a hand with them, former world government agents. The main reason is to make it easier for Robin to control them. If Robin hadn't been wanted by the world government since he was a child, he would definitely be the king of secret agents if he wanted to join CP. Now the opportunity has come. It's not the paparazzi, also convenient. Luo Rob Lucci thought for a long time and didn't say anything. The others didn't express their opinions. They were used to Rob Lucci being their leader, and they were all waiting for his opinion. I agreed, we will pass on the knowledge of all agents to them, but after establishing an espionage organization, what capacity do we enter this organization? Advertisement Rob Lucci has great ambitions. Since the world government has abandoned them, he will establish a spy agency stronger than CP. You are the leader, you only need to listen to Nico Robin's orders, are you satisfied? But before that, you need to provide some trust, I believe you can understand. Yake saw Luo walking slowly with Ghost crying and showing a smile. Rob Lucci's back felt cold, and he had a bad premonition. Luo pointed to Lucci and the others and said, Captain, are there just a few of them? Yake nodded and motioned Luo to do it. Room slaughterhouse. Xiao Luo made a gesture with his hand, and a circular space surrounded the 7 people, and he poked 7 times in a row. Rob Lucci and others didn't realize what happened to them. A handful of small red cubes appeared in Luo's hand. These were part of their hearts, and crushing these cubes was also fatal. The nervous heartbeats and even breathing of the 7 people were extremely clear in the quiet and treacherous atmosphere. Haha, don't be nervous, after proving your loyalty, I will return it to you. Yake took a pile of heart fragments in Luo's hand and shook them, and the others suddenly felt a sense of myocardial infarction. Only now did they know what Luo had done to them. Jabra, who has the most irritable personality, just wanted to become a werewolf when Lucci stopped him. He shook his head at Jabra and signaled him not to die. That would be great, we don't have to worry about being jealous. Lucci knew very well that none of the people present were easy to provoke, and in their identities, this was the best way. Very well, you can do your own activities first, get to know this country, and someone will come to you in 3 days. Yake smiled and put the heart fragments into the storage box in a good mood. I have been coveting the intelligence organization of the Revolutionary Army for a long time, but I didn't expect the talent to deliver the goods directly to my door. When the spy agency is established, Robin can reduce the burden. 155. Prelude to War, the Kingdom of God in the Sky. Let's all board this giant war beast. It will take us to the territory of Big Mom. Yake stood in front of the giant ship and greeted everyone from the Ark Pirates to board the plane. In addition to the Ark Pirates, there were 500 clone soldiers and 300 Special Forces soldiers who were in charge of manipulating the war monster. Everyone was ready to go and entered the giant ship one by one. I hope you have fun this time. Behind the team are Sabo and Betty sent by the Revolutionary Army, and they are ready to act with Yake's troops. The two looked at the giant war beast full of generosity. If their Revolutionary Army had such a thing, they could easily conquer a small kingdom. With your kind words, Mr. Yake, I heard that the Whitebeard Pirates will join the battle this time, right? Sabo hesitated to speak, but wanted to confirm whether Ace would be there. After the Summit War, he recovered his memory, but he never had the chance to reunite with his former brother. Ha ha ha, of course, they are already wandering in the waters near Wanguo. As soon as we reach Wanguo, they will join the battle, and you will have a chance to meet Ace then. Yake patted Sabo on the shoulder and laughed loudly, and walked into the command room. Okay, let's go. At the speed of war behemoths, it takes 3 days to fly to Wanguo. However, with the mobile charging treasure of Yake, you can start the full-speed sailing mode. According to Judge's estimation, you can reach Wanguo in about 1 day. This time, your mission is to forcefully suppress Big Mom's children and make them lose their ability to resist. Remember to save the life of those with fruit abilities. They are very useful, ha ha ha. Yake's ultimate goal this time is to get the soul fruit of the ant, and the fruits of her children are incidental. Okay, let's rest first. Recharge your batteries, the war is about to begin. Seas of all nations. Advertisement. Ace and Marco observed the movement of Wanguo. Ace, don't worry, when Yake's fleet arrives, you will naturally see. Sabo, he must be someone very important to you. Marco felt that Ace was obviously overexcited. Since Ace woke up and told him about Sabo, his whole person changed. He chanted Sabo's name every day, which made him a little bit tasteless. Haha, that's right. Sabo, Luffy's sworn brother. I thought he left us forever, but I didn't expect him to be alive and join the Revolutionary Army. Luffy will be very happy to know. Ace's face was full of smiles, and he was more grateful to Yake in his heart, but he didn't save himself, so wouldn't he even die without knowing that his brother Sabo was still alive? Sure enough, it's best to live, even if it's for my brother, I have to live well. Luffy? The Straw Hat Kid from Summer War? I don't seem to have heard from him. Marco touched his pineapple leaf with some doubts. This kid should not be such a peaceful person. Ha ha ha, Luffy is going to concentrate on training for 2 years. With Mr. Rayleigh teaching him, he will definitely become very strong. Ace took out Luffy's life card and smiled. I really hope that Luffy can come with him this time, so that the 3 brothers can be reunited. How happy Luffy would be to know that Sabo is still alive. After the Summit War, Rayleigh took Luffy to find a deserted island to practice with great concentration, keeping his ears off the world affairs, and immersed himself in hard training. Marco nodded in agreement. Rayleigh? That's not bad, after all, he taught the monster Yake. Wangwo, Toto Land, the new cake island. Mom, this cake is so delicious. The ant stuffed all kinds of cakes into her mouth heartlessly, and her exaggerated eyeshadow made her look extraordinarily pervasive. Mom, the Whitebeard pirate's ship has been spotted around the Sea of Nations, do you want to warn them? Katakuri stood beside the ant and leaned over and said, he has been a little restless today, and always feels that something bad is about to happen, but the territory of the 10,000 kingdoms is as usual, and there is no abnormality. Advertisement, but he believed that his uneasiness was definitely not groundless, and arranged for people to carefully inspect the seas of all nations, so he discovered the Whitebeard pirates wandering around. Whitebeard pirates, mama, without that old guy Whitebeard, they are not much better than those supernovas, and they are not worth mentioning. But let's send someone to warn them. Ant was a little disdainful when she heard that it was the Whitebeard pirates, and continued to enjoy her delicious desserts. She didn't think that the Whitebeard pirates led by Ace came to seek her revenge, and they were not worthy now. Yes, Mom, Brother Perisparrow has already led the fleet to warn them, so I will retreat first. After Katakuri bid farewell to his aunt, he walked out of the cake castle, still feeling a little palpitating. He used observation hockey to predict the future and found nothing abnormal. Isn't it because of the Whitebeard pirates? At this time, Perisparrow had already driven the fleet around the Sea of Nations. Yo-Yo Tilda, isn't this the captain of the Whitebeard pirates, Portgas de Ace? Why do you have time to come to Wangwo? It's really disappointing. Perisparrow flicked his long tongue and said yin and yang, trying to make Ace lose his mind, so that he would have a reason to go to war. But he didn't know that Ace had already let go of his identity and didn't care about Perisparrow's eccentricity. Ha ha ha, it's okay, we're just passing by, what's the matter with you? Ace stared at Perisparrow's fleet with great interest, feeling very appetizing and whetting appetite. HMPH Tilda, no matter whether you are passing by or have any intentions, leave the 10,000 Nations Sea within 10 minutes, otherwise it will be regarded as a provocation to the Big Mom pirates. Seeing that the taunt had no effect, Perisparrow snorted coldly, pointed the muzzle at the ship of the Whitebeard pirates, and threatened Ace to leave quickly. To be honest, Perisparrow is definitely not an opponent of Ace in a real fight. The high temperature of the flame is too restrained for the candy made by Perisparrow, and it is easy to melt it into syrup. I said I was just passing by. Why are you so excited? Or do you want to fight? Come on, I'm not afraid of you. Ace's face turned cold. He was just a crew member of the 4 Emperors pirate group. They didn't even bother to look at them when Dad was there, and now he naturally won't be afraid of them. Yake can't beat them, but Big Mom can still beat them. Yake. If you are playing with fire, I suggest you don't go, hot eyes. The atmosphere of the scene gradually became tense until Marco's phone bug rang.